in these by-elections. There may be a time for falsehood, but not an era. Now, the real struggle has started. Clench your fists, tighten your fist, and make PDA proclaim, "We will join, we will win." Samajwadi Party MP Dimple Yadav reacting to this. Listen in.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोगों को खुली छूट दी गई कि मतदान के दिन वो घूमें, और बाहर से भी दूसरी विधानसभा से भी लोग आके गाड़ियों में यहाँ घूम रहे थे, और जहाँ 3 या 4 गाड़ी चलने की अनुमति होती है वहाँ पे 10-10 गाड़ियाँ लेके लोग चल रहे थे। और जिस प्रकार से पूरा माहौल रहा, उसके बावजूद भी समाजवादी पार्टी का जो परफॉर्मेंस रहा है वो सही रहा है।
लगता है भी और सीटें आ सकती हैं, कई राउंड बाकी हैं।
हाँ, मैं समझती हूँ कि हम लोग अनुमान लगा रहे हैं कि 4 सीटों पे हम लोग अभी भी जीत सकते हैं।
Samarth Srivastava joins me from Lucknow for more. And Samarth, while the BJP was expecting perhaps 6 of 9, 7 of 9, is that better than expectation as far as the BJP is concerned? And explain the Chief Minister specifically talking about the significance of the Kundarki seat, saying this is where the voters have decided Virasat is very important.
Well, exactly, Gaurav. BJP was actually eyeing the 9 seats, though they knew that Karhal is going to be tough. But obviously, they were also eyeing the Sisamo seat of Kanpur. But they seem to be happy with the 7 seats, with Samajwadi Party bagging 2, one in Karhal and the other in Sisamo. CM Yogi Adityanath's message is loud and clear. He clearly talked about the Kundarki, because if you talk about the caste dynamics of Kundarki, it clearly says that opposition do have a edge right there. But what actually happened in the numbers is quite drastic for the opposition, and it's fruitful for the BJP. Though Dimple Yadav, while speaking to India Today TV, says that she does not believe in the results which came, especially in the Kundarki and Mirapur, because they were expecting a good performance by the Samajwadi Party candidate right there. They also blamed the police and administration for the same, and has even said that in the coming elections they will demand for the ballot paper elections and not the EVM. So she also questioned about the Maharashtra. But if you talk about the bigger picture of Uttar Pradesh, BJP saw a drawback in the Lok Sabha elections, where Samajwadi Party won 37 seats, and in total India Alliance won the 41 seats. And after that, it's a sigh of relief for the BJP, because currently, if you talk about the 9 seats that are assembly seats, the by-election seats, 7 being won by the BJP. So yes, there was a fight in some seats, but at the end of the day, results are telling the story that BJP has won the 7 seats, while SP has gone with the 2 seats. CM Yogi Adityanath's message
Stay with me for a moment, and for benefit of viewers who are just joining us, Samarth, stay with me. The BJP has managed significant victory in Uttar Pradesh Assembly by-elections, winning 7 of 9 seats. The highlights of winning, and it's actually a stunning comeback for the BJP. And the point that Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath was making, the Kundarki seat, seen as a minority-dominated seat, a bastion, as many argued, for the Samajwadi Party, a stronghold since 1993. If you were to talk about Mirapur, the BJP RLD coalition retained its dominance. The bypoll elections came as a shot in the arm for Yogi Adityanath and the Bharatiya Janata Party, following the dismal performance of the BJP in the Lok Sabha elections, where the BJP was reduced to about 37 seats, trailing behind the NDA bloc, the India bloc's 43 seats. Now, reiterating the batenge to katenge. That's the point Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister said, that voters in Uttar Pradesh have understood this point. Ek hai to safe hai. UP CM dedicated this victory to the good governance both at the centre and the state, the dedicated work of party workers, and of course the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Samajwadi Party, on the other hand, is crying foul. They've accused the BJP of misusing state machinery. They said they've manipulated elections, and they want elections using the ballot paper and not the electronic voting machine.
लोकसभा के चुनाव में जो उन्होंने झूठ बोला, धोखा दिया, फरेब किया, अब वह उनका फरेब चलने वाला नहीं है। समाजवादी पार्टी समाप्तवादी पार्टी बनने वाली है। वो पीडीए के नाम पे राजनीति करते हैं, लेकिन एक दलित की बेटी की हत्यारा करने वाला हत्यारा उनके साथ बैठता है। यह दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। इसलिए सपा जैसी पार्टी की राजनीति के अंत का संकेत है 2024 का या विधानसभा उपचुनाव।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी माननीय मोदी जी की गरीब कल्याण योजनाओं को लेकर जन जन में गई और उत्तर प्रदेश के लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की तारीफ पूरे देश की जनता कर रही है। लोगों का भरोसा बीजेपी के प्रति लगातार बढ़ा है। लोगों का मानना है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी ही बढ़िया नेतृत्व दे सकती है और उत्तर प्रदेश में एक तरफा भारतीय जनता पार्टी को आशीर्वाद जाति धर्म संप्रदाय से ऊपर उठकर लोगों ने दिया है।
शाम तक क्या स्कोर होने की उम्मीद है यूपी का?
अभी हम 8 सीटें जीतेंगे।
ये पहला चुनाव हमने देखा कि ये चुनाव लोकशाही बनाम तानाशाही, लोकशाही बनाम तानाशाही, लोकतंत्र की सारी मर्यादाओं को समाप्त करके और सत्ता पार्टी ने, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने पूरी चुनाव की कमान पुलिस के लोगों पर, सरकारी अधिकारियों पर डाल दिया था।
I quickly want to cut across to Mumbai. Mosmi Singh, my colleague, has just spoken to Milind Deora, who's reacting after his defeat at the Worli seat, where Aditya Thackeray has won by a margin of about 8,000 votes. Worli is one seat where Milind Deora had put in a lot of effort, but this is a strong seat for the Shiv Sena's Uddhav Thackeray group, and Aditya Thackeray had worked very hard on the Worli seat. But let's quickly cut across and listen in to Milind Deora explaining why he didn't succeed despite the effort.
जिस तरह की धुआंधार जीत दर्ज की है महायुति ने, मिलिंद किस तरह से देखते हैं ये? एक साझा
महाराष्ट्र के लिए एक ऐतिहासिक विक्ट्री है, एक ऐतिहासिक बहुमत है और मैं महायुति सरकार के सभी नेताओं को, कार्यकर्ताओं को बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहूंगा।
क्या वजह रही आपको लगता है, क्योंकि जीत का सेहरा किसके मत थे? क्या मुद्दों की वजह से जीते हैं या
सकारात्मक मुद्दों के आधार पर हमने चुनाव लड़ा। विपक्ष नेगेटिव मुद्दों पर लोगों को डराने की कोशिश कर रहे थे। पब्लिक बहुत स्मार्ट है, बहुत समझदार है।
यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे मिलिंद देओरा हमसे बात करते हुए और प्रफुल्ल पटेल से भी बात करेंगे और
And I quickly want to cut across to BJP's Charu Pragya joining me on the broadcast. Charu, did the BJP also expect these numbers? The Mahuayuti at 230, the Mahavikas Aghadi being reduced to 51 at this stage, and the Mahavikas Aghadi, at least Sanjay Raut of the Shiv Sena UBT, saying it's the EVM that's to be blamed for this.
Gaurav, good evening. But let me tell you, since the last 4 or 5 days, I have been insisting that if BJP does well, we are going to touch the 200 mark. Of course, today we have done even better than I expected. Congratulations to everyone in the Mahuayuti, the leaders, the Karyakartas alike. And thank you very much for restoring faith in the policies and vision of Prime Minister Modi. This has been a massive victory for many, many reasons. A historic victory, because I don't think there has ever before been an alliance which has come to power in Maharashtra with more than 200 seats. And just look at BJP's strike rate, 86%. It's unimaginable. And compare it to the heroes of the MVA. Congress 18%, Shiv Sena of the Uddhav Thackeray faction barely 20%. So when you look at all of that, I just want to point out 3 things. One, the increased vote share points towards how women are driving the political narrative, how political parties that keep women at the forefront of their policies are going to do better at governance also and at winning elections also. The second thing, if you stray from your core ideology, people are not going to stick with you. And this was a resounding slap in the face of all those who left behind the ideology of Swargya Balasaheb Thackeray. Those who retained it,
that's a direct barb at Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray, a group that they strayed from the ideology, as you say, of Balasaheb Thackeray, the Hindu Hriday Samrat. But what would you say to people like Swara Bhaskar, her husband Fahad Ahmed, lost? He says, I was leading in 17 of 19 rounds. Suddenly these EVMs with 99% battery charge came and he lost. So they're saying that EVMs played a role in his defeat.
Gaurav, have you seen any proof about this? Have you seen any video? Have you seen any CCTV coverage? So unfortunately for us, the opposition will only find someone else to blame when they lose an election. I've not heard anyone complaining in Jharkhand about EVMs. They cannot do that because they know this is not how the system works. Everything is in very strict scrutiny. And I think, frankly, people of this country are tired of hearing the EVM excuse. The honest truth is that your divisive politics did not work. All your fake narratives have now been busted, and people prefer to stand behind the politics of development versus the politics of no development.
Okay, but how do you explain the BJP and its dismal performance in Jharkhand and the spectacular victory of JMM and India bloc? I mean, there, the batenge to katenge and the ghuspetiya just clearly did not work for the BJP.
We have unfortunately not performed as per our expectations in the state of Jharkhand. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go and blame the administration or the EVMs or anyone else for that matter. The truth is that maybe what we were trying to convey to the people, we were not very good at conveying it. We'll work harder. I still believe that the issues we picked up were very important. The issues of infiltrators into our country is a very big one. And illegal immigrants coming into India, staying in parts of Jharkhand is going to become bigger in the days to come. We talk about women, the girls in the state of Jharkhand who are married only so that their tribal lands can be taken over by other people is also an important issue. And if not now, I'm sure, Gaurav, 6 months later, we'll be discussing it again. In any case, okay. I congratulate Hemant Sorenji. And we're going to continue to work for the people of Jharkhand irrespective.
Okay, give me a moment. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just reacted to the election results that have just come in. He took to social media platform X to say, and I quote, "I'm proud of every NDA Karyakarta for their effort on ground. They worked hard, went among people and elaborated on a good governance agenda." So the Prime Minister has tweeted on this spectacular victory of the Mahuayuti in Maharashtra. If you look at the latest victories and lead margins, it's 230 of 288 seats for the Mahuayuti in Maharashtra. The MVA reduced to a mere 51. And Charu Pragya was just talking about the strike rate of all the three BJP, the parties and their alliance partners. There is more that's coming in from the Prime Minister. So while the Prime Minister has congratulated the Karyakartas for their hard work and the agenda, he's also said NDA's pro-people efforts resonate all over. I thank people across various states for blessing the NDA candidates in the various by-elections held. We will leave no stone unturned in fulfilling their dreams. Okay, I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Mosmi Singh, who now joins us with the latest from Maharashtra. Mosmi, while the Mahuayuti, and you've been speaking to Milind Deora and a number of other BJP leaders and Shiv Sena leaders, they are celebrating. What's the buzz also in the Congress camp? Is there any analysis or immediate reaction to why the Mahavikas Aghadi, their performance was so subpar, reduced to 51?
Right, Gaurav, before I answer that question, the mammoth nature of this victory you can see with every visual unfolding. Now, right here outside at Varsha, behind me, there is a big JCB machine and Eknath Shinde's posters there. And this is a massive garland that the JCB machine is carrying to the Chief Minister's residence. He's very precariously holding that garland, and I believe the CM's car. Okay, there's another JCB machine that's gone in with some lots of flowers, and this JCB would actually go in and garland the Chief Minister and offer this big garland to him. So I was telling you how the Mahuayuti has put up a united show. They've done a press conference, combined force, and that's what the Congress couldn't do. We saw how there was a lot of internal bickering, lot of internal tussle, lack of coordination, and though they could find faults with the EVM But there has to be some self-introspection within the Congress party as to why Haryana one battle was lost and why, with the Lok Sabha bumper performance in Maharashtra, why they lost it all with a very debilitating, disastrous performance in Maharashtra.
Indeed. So, were there no lessons learned from Haryana? Because in Haryana, it was said that a lot of responsibility was given just to one faction, and perhaps the Congress smelt victory too soon. They didn't want other factions to win. Was it exactly the same in Maharashtra? The bickering that took place amongst Mahavikas Aghadi leaders, they couldn't see eye to eye. Uddhav Thackeray was a little, unhappy that he wasn't made the chief ministerial face of the Mahavikas Aghadi. Others weren't coming together. Is that what the problem was?
Gaurav, you're right when you said, I feel that the performance in Haryana weighed very large on what was happening in Maharashtra, and somewhere, the BJP found its footing. The BJP realized, yes, it can make a comeback from its Lok Sabha performance and buck up its performance. It enthused its workers, and on the other hand, the Congress workers, in fact, lost the momentum and, in fact, were demoralized. And therefore, then the Shiv Sena, UBT and NCP Sharad Pawar, both of them were talking about how the Congress was an underperformer in a direct battle with the BJP. So that was the starting point of the downfall of the Mahavikas Aghadi. And even as I talk, I will ask Kunj Bihari to show you these visuals, which are absolutely, marked with the entire tempo, the momentum and the feverish pitch in which the celebrations are happening here as far as the Mahuayuti is concerned. And that's one reason these pictures further, add fuel to the fire as far as the Congress's performance is concerned. Rahul Gandhi is absent. He is not present today. Wasn't it the right time to come up and tell the Congress workers, never mind, you lost Maharashtra, we've got many battles to fight, and maybe this is just the beginning of our fight, just as Akhilesh
That's
Yadav,
a very interesting point Mosmi Singh raises here. Very interesting point. Where is Rahul Gandhi? We'll try and get you some answers to that question on the other side of a quick break. Mosmi, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. A quick break, back with the headlines and our top stories on the other side of these messages. Stay with us. Reiterating the batenge to katenge. That's the point Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister said, that voters in Uttar Pradesh have understood this point. Ek hai to safe hai. UP CM dedicated this victory to the good governance both at the centre and the state, the dedicated work of party workers and of course the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Samajwadi Party on the other hand is crying foul. They've accused the BJP of misusing state machinery. They said they've manipulated elections and they want elections using the ballot paper and not the electronic voting machine.
लोकसभा के चुनाव में जो उन्होंने झूठ बोला, धोखा दिया, फरेब किया, अब वह उनका फरेब चलने वाला नहीं है। समाजवादी पार्टी समाप्तवादी पार्टी बनने वाली है। वो पीडीए के नाम पे राजनीति करते हैं, लेकिन एक दलित की बेटी की हत्यारा करने वाला हत्यारा उनके साथ बैठता है। यह दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। इसलिए सपा जैसी पार्टी की राजनीति के अंत का संकेत है 2024 का या विधानसभा उपचुनाव।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी माननीय मोदी जी की गरीब कल्याण योजनाओं को लेकर जन जन में गई और उत्तर प्रदेश के लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की तारीफ पूरे देश की जनता कर रही है। लोगों का भरोसा बीजेपी के प्रति लगातार बढ़ा है। लोगों का मानना है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी ही बढ़िया नेतृत्व दे सकती है और उत्तर प्रदेश में एक तरफा भारतीय जनता पार्टी को आशीर्वाद जाति धर्म संप्रदाय से ऊपर उठकर लोगों ने दिया है।
शाम तक क्या स्कोर होने की उम्मीद है यूपी का?
अभी हम 8 सीटें जीतेंगे।
ये पहला चुनाव हमने देखा कि ये चुनाव लोकशाही बनाम तानाशाही, लोकशाही बनाम तानाशाही लोकतंत्र की सारी मर्यादाओं को समाप्त करके और सत्ता पार्टी ने, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने पूरी चुनाव की कमान पुलिस के लोगों पर, सरकारी अधिकारियों पर डाल दिया था।
I quickly want to cut across to Mumbai. Mosmi Singh, my colleague, has just spoken to Milind Deora, who's reacting after his defeat at the Worli seat, where Aditya Thackeray has won by a margin of about 8,000 votes. Worli is one seat where Milind Deora had put in a lot of effort, but this is a strong seat for the Shiv Sena's Uddhav Thackeray group, and Aditya Thackeray had worked very hard on the Worli seat. But let's quickly cut across and listen in to Milind Deora explaining why he didn't succeed despite the effort.
जिस तरह की धुआंधार जीत दर्ज की है महायुति ने, मिलिंद किस तरह से देखते हैं ये एक साझा
महाराष्ट्र के लिए एक ऐतिहासिक विक्ट्री है, एक ऐतिहासिक बहुमत है और मैं महायुति सरकार के सभी नेताओं को, कार्यकर्ताओं को बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहूंगा।
क्या वजह रही आपको लगता है, क्योंकि जीत का सेहरा किसके मत थे? क्या मुद्दों की वजह से जीते हैं या
सकारात्मक मुद्दों के आधार पर हमने चुनाव लड़ा। विपक्ष नेगेटिव मुद्दों पर लोगों को डराने की कोशिश कर रहे थे। पब्लिक बहुत स्मार्ट है, बहुत समझदार है।
यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे मिलिंद देओरा हमसे बात करते हुए और प्रफुल्ल पटेल से भी बात करेंगे और
And I quickly want to cut across to BJP's Charu Pragya joining me on the broadcast. Charu, did the BJP also expect these numbers? The Mahuayuti at 230, the Mahavikas Aghadi being reduced to 51 at this stage, and the Mahavikas Aghadi, at least Sanjay Raut of the Shiv Sena UBT, saying it's the EVM that's to be blamed for this.
Gaurav, good evening. But let me tell you, since the last 4 or 5 days, I have been insisting that if BJP does well, we are going to touch the 200 mark. Of course, today we have done even better than I expected. Congratulations to everyone in the Mahuayuti, the leaders, the Karyakartas alike. And thank you very much for restoring faith in the policies and vision of Prime Minister Modi. This has been a massive victory for many, many reasons. A historic victory, because I don't think there has ever before been an alliance which has come to power in Maharashtra with more than 200 seats. And just look at BJP's strike rate, 86%. It's unimaginable. And compare it to the heroes of the MVA. Congress 18%, Shiv Sena of the Uddhav Thackeray faction barely 20%. So when you look at all of that, I just want to point out 3 things. One, the increased vote share points towards how women are driving the political narrative, how political parties that keep women at the forefront of their policies are going to do better at governance also and at winning elections also. The second thing, if you stray from your core ideology, people are not going to stick with you. And this was a resounding slap in the face of all those who left behind the ideology of Swargya Balasaheb Thackeray. Those who retained it,
that's a direct barb at Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray, a group that they strayed from the ideology, as you say, of Balasaheb Thackeray, the Hindu Hriday Samrat. But what would you say to people like Swara Bhaskar? Her husband, Fahad Ahmed, lost. He says, I was leading in 17 of 19 rounds. Suddenly these EVMs with 99% battery charge came and he lost. So they're saying that EVMs played a role in his defeat.
Gaurav, have you seen any proof about this? Have you seen any video? Have you seen any CCTV coverage? So unfortunately for us, the opposition will only find someone else to blame when they lose an election. I've not heard anyone complaining in Jharkhand about EVMs. They cannot do that because they know this is not how the system works. Everything is in very strict scrutiny. And I think, frankly, people of this country are tired of hearing the EVM excuse. The honest truth is that your divisive politics did not work. All your fake narratives have now been busted and people big.
Bharat ka joy e-bike. Mahindra Electric Origin SUVs.
The voters have spoken loud and clear in Maharashtra, in Jharkhand, in Uttar Pradesh and in Wayanad. And it's a very clear mandate from the voters of India to the leaders of India. A spectacular victory for the BJP-led Mahuayuti in Maharashtra, leading in 231 of 288 seats. A spectacular victory for JMM-led India bloc in Jharkhand, for the BJP winning 7 of 9 seats in Uttar Pradesh, and for Priyanka Gandhi Vadra in Wayanad in Kerala of the Congress party. I'll get you all details over the course of the next 1 hour. I'm Gaurav Sawant as always. Let's get started with the headlines at 5. All eyes on who would be Maharashtra's new chief minister. The Mahuayuti says all 3 allies will sit together and decide on the next chief minister. BJP sources say Devendra Fadnavis is a front runner to be the chief minister of Maharashtra.
से हम चुनाव लड़े साथ में सभी के समन्वय से सब एकजुट होकर वैसे ही आगे का भी जो निर्णय है हम लोग तय कर लेंगे कोई ऐसा हमारे में मतभेद नहीं है
Mahuayuti scripts a landslide victory in Maharashtra. Devendra Fadnavis, Eknath Shinde and Ajit Dada Pawar give a befitting reply. Say a reply has been given to divisive politics of the Congress. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hails the victory, says good governance resonates with the voters. Defeated Mahavikas Aghadi leaders cry foul, say there was a conspiracy in the EVMs from Sanjay Raut to Swara Bhaskar. Opposition leaders and families pin the blame on EVM for poor performance in Maharashtra. Mahuayuti leaders mock the defeated leaders.
महाराष्ट्र जो गौतम अडानी के जेब में जा रहा है, मुंबई जेब में जा रहे हैं, हमने विरोध किया। ये अडानी राष्ट्र नहीं होने देंगे, तो उसके लिए इस प्रकार के नतीजे महाराष्ट्र के ऊपर।
India bloc pulls off a surprise turnaround after a neck-and-neck fight in Jharkhand. JMM-led coalition retains power in the state. Massive bounce back after big Lok Sabha setback in Uttar Pradesh. Yogi Adityanath wins assembly bypoll litmus test. BJP and allies win 7 of 9 seats. Akhilesh Yadav Samajwadi Party suffers a massive setback.
जनता जनार्दन ने स्पष्ट कर दिया है कि समाजवादी पार्टी और इंडी गठबंधन का लूट और झूठ की जो पॉलिटिक्स है अब इसके अंत की उद्घोषणा भी है चुनाव।
Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's spectacular victory in her poll debut in Wayanad, Kerala, sweeps with a margin of 4 lakh votes. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra thanks voters, says brother Rahul Gandhi contributed massively to her victory. And after the Mahuayuti spectacular victory in Maharashtra, the biggest question is, who would be the next chief minister of Maharashtra? Will the chief minister be from the BJP or the Shiv Sena or the NCP of Ajit Pawar? Now, sources are telling India Today, and we have this exclusively here on India Today, Eknath Shinde camp has claimed that Eknath Shinde should return as the chief minister of Maharashtra, and his party insists his claim is based on the leadership, on the decisive leadership he provided to the Mahuayuti after the drubbing in Lok Sabha elections. The turnaround that the Mahuayuti made between the Lok Sabha election results and the assembly polls. In the last few months, discussions have happened and several discussions have taken place with the BJP leadership is what the Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde faction tell India today. They've had a series of meetings with BJP leaders even before elections, and their impression is that Eknath Shinde should and will continue as the chief minister even after this decisive mandate in favor of the BJP, alone getting or leading in 133 of 288 seats. Eknath Shinde will continue as the chief minister. This is their perception. He claimed that the Ladki Bahin was actually his brainchild, and that is why he should remain the chief minister to ensure that the implementation of this scheme takes place as effectively. So, big story that's coming in. Of course, this is source-based information that's coming in from the Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde camp. Though Devendra Fadnavis, of course, had made it very clear that all three parties will sit together. That this was the decision that had been taken and announced by Union Home Minister Amit Shah, that once election results are announced, all three parties will elect their respective party leaders. They will hold their consultations and then come forward with who the chief minister, their chief ministerial candidate should be, and then a decision will be taken. But I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Mosmi Singh, now joining us with the latest on this big story. Mosmi, what are you picking up? What's the buzz on ground in the Shiv Sena camp, the Eknath Shinde camp?
Gaurav, clearly, with the Mahuayuti leaders doing a joint press conference and saying that we will deliberate and discuss amongst ourselves. Sources do tell us that Shinde has also claimed for CM-ship. Now, this is a very prestigious post, and naturally, with him being the incumbent chief minister, he is saying that the claim is based on the fact that after Lok Sabha elections and the results that had come, the entire turnaround was scripted by him, and he said that he was the face of the government. In the last few months, discussions had happened with the BJP High Command as well, and there was assurance that was given to him that he will continue remaining the chief minister of the Mahuayuti government. And so even after this particular mandate where BJP has done exceedingly well, the Shiv Sena camp says that Eknath Shinde is taking claims that he truly deserves this post.
What about the Bharatiya Janata Party, where Devendra Fadnavis is seen as someone who was the architect of this victory? And we just heard Devendra Fadnavis just a short while back when he said, इस महाभारत का मैं अभिमन्यु हूँ, मैं चक्रव्यूह को भेदना भी जानता हूँ और मॉडर्न डे महाभारत में उससे निकलना भी जानता हूँ. So he is drawing a parallel with one, the Mahabharat, two, the Chakravyuh, taking on many powerful leaders and yet emerging victorious. So is the BJP on the same page that it would be Devendra Fadnavis for the BJP, or are they also thinking of a different name and face?
That's right, Gaurav, and it's been a turnaround of sorts for the BJP as well after Devendra Fadnavis had lost the CM post and he had to give away to the other regional satraps. The kind of performance that the BJP has registered, he remains the tallest leader, one of the tallest leaders in the landscape of the BJP in Maharashtra. And clearly you could see he was all smiles today, but he really knows the protocols of his party, and thereby, there will be serious deliberations as far as, his name is concerned. And as far
stay with me, there's more breaking news coming in. Mosmi, stay with me, there's more breaking news coming in. We're getting the first reaction from Aditya Thackeray after his victory from the Varli seat, but also speaking on the defeat of the Mahavikas Aghadi. Aditya Thackeray, after his victory, of course, says on the Mahavikas Aghadi defeat that it's the EVM tampering that needs to be looked into very closely. I don't know if people have voted or if EVMs have voted or words to that effect. Maharashtra results are very surprising. We got a good response during Lok Sabha. We need to see what changed. Listen in to Aditya Thackeray. I'll bring Mosmi Singh once again into this conversation.
की ह्याच्यात महाराष्ट्राने मतदान केले की ईव्हीएमनी केले
विजय
हा एक मोठा प्रश्न आहेच, पण त्या सगळ्यावर मला वाटतं नंतर आम्ही चर्चा करूच. आता जे आहे ते आता जो निकालाचा एक आढावा घेतोय त्याच्यानंतर आम्ही बोलू. एक नक्की आहे की ह्याच्यात महाराष्ट्राने मतदान केले की ईव्हीएमनी केले
विजय
हा एक मोठा प्रश्न आहेच, पण त्या सगळ्यावर मला वाटतं नंतर आम्ही चर्चा करूच. आता जे आहे ते आता जो निकालाचा एक आढावा घेतोय त्याच्यानंतर आम्ही बोलू.
Has Maharashtra voted? Have the people voted or has the EVM voted? It's a big question. We will discuss this. We will consider what led to this. We got a good response during Lok Sabha elections. The current results are very, very surprising. I once again want to bring in Mosmi Singh into this conversation. Mosmi, okay, we'll get Mosmi in just a moment because the big question here remains. Aditya Thackeray has won. He won with a margin of 8,000 votes in Varli. He defeated Milind Deora in these elections. So was the EVM working there or was the EVM not working there? Is the question that the BJP has constantly raised. Was the EVM working in Jharkhand where the JMM and Congress have done so well? Or was the EVM tampered even in Jharkhand? In Priyanka Gandhi's victory in Wayanad, was the EVM working or not working? So Aditya Thackeray has reiterated the EVM tampering charge, and I want to bring Mosmi into this all over again. Mosmi, you heard Aditya Thackeray talking about was the EVM voting or were people of Maharashtra voting? But whether it's Eknath Shinde or Devendra Fadnavis or even Ajit Pawar, they've all responded to this question of EVM.
That's right, and the leaders did say, the Mahuayuti leaders said that what about the EVM in Jharkhand? What about the EVM in Himachal or in Karnataka or in Telangana for that matter? So clearly, we saw as early as around 10:30 Sanjay Raut slamming the election commission, slamming the match fixing, saying that how could Eknath Shinde win above 50 seats, and so there was some foul play. But clearly, the India allies, including the Congress, will have to come clean on this one if they are making these serious allegations of the EVM time and again. They've gone to the Election Commission of India, even as far as Haryana is concerned. They complained about 12 constituencies, and said they'll give more, a list of more constituencies that were tampered with. But really that battle has not gone very far and is not stuck. And the ECI has rubbished all those charges, Gaurav.
It indeed has. And are these EVM working in Wayanad, in Jharkhand, as you very correctly pointed out, in Karnataka and in other states where the opposition have their government? But I want to also now take you through details of that 99% battery charge EVMs that is now being leveled. After Mahavikas Aghadi's big EVM charge, the Mahuayuti has actually hit back at the Mahavikas Aghadi. So just a short while back, after Swara Bhaskar's husband lost elections, she said that there are a certain number of EVMs which have 99% battery charge. And those that have 99% battery charge results in the opponent getting double or sometimes 3 times the number of votes as, Fahad Ahmed, her husband. But Mahuayuti registered a landslide victory in these elections. MVA has cried foul alleging EVM tampering. Eknath Shinde, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, he slammed the opposition for blaming the EVMs. He actually mocked the opposition. Devendra Fadnavis said EVMs are rigged in Maharashtra, but they're working perfectly well in Jharkhand. The election commission was corrupt in Maharashtra, but the same election commission was perfect in Jharkhand. Ajit Pawar too accused the Mahavikas Aghadi of playing this blame game instead of doing an honest introspection or gracefully accepting the verdict of the voters. Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray faction leader and member of parliament Sanjay Raut said he does not believe these election results. He's accused the Mahuayuti of stealing this election, of stealing seats with the help of Gautam Adani's support.
ईवीएम का देखो, अभी झारखंड में ईवीएम अच्छा है क्या? झारखंड में, कर्नाटक में ईवीएम अच्छा था. जब अभी वो लोग पहले जब जीतने के बाद बोलते ईवीएम अच्छा है, इलेक्शन कमिश्नर अच्छा है, वो लोग तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक तो उनको सलाह मशवरा देते हैं उनको। वो जो यंत्रणा उनके बाजू से मतलब उनके फेवर में रिजल्ट आते अच्छी है। अभी तो वोटर लिस्ट पे भी उन्होंने ऑब्जेक्शन लिया था। तो जब हार जाते हैं तो बोलते ये यंत्रणा खराब है, जितते तो बोलते अच्छा है।
आम्हाला ते माहितीच होतं, जर झारखंड मुक्ती मोर्चा जिंकला तर तिथलं ईव्हीएम टॅम्पर प्रूफ परफेक्ट एकदम जनमताचा कौल लोकशाहीचा विजय। आणि महाराष्ट्रामध्ये हे धाराशाही झाल्याबरोबर लोकशाही खतऱ्यात आलेली आहे, ईव्हीएम प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये आहे, ईव्हीएम टॅम्पर झालेला आहे। मला असं वाटतं की कुठेतरी अशा परिस्थितीमध्ये आत्मचिंतन केलं पाहिजे।
आता विरोधक टीका करतात की बाबा बॅलेट पेपरनी घ्यायला पाहिजे होतं, मग बॅलेट पेपरने लोकसभेला पण घ्यायला पाहिजे होतं। लोकसभेचा निकाल लागला की तो बरोबर आणि इथला निकाल लागला की बॅलेट पेपर यायला पाहिजे, मग मशीन काय ईव्हीएम बरोबर नाही, असं नाही चालत। आता झारखंड पण आमच्या हातनं गेलंच ना, आम्ही कुठं काय म्हणतो।
जो नतीजे सामने आए उसका ऊपर मैं विश्वास रखने को तैयार नहीं, ये जनता का फैसला मानने को तैयार नहीं। हमने महाराष्ट्र की जनता का जो मन है, हमें मालूम था किस दिशा में जा रहा है। लेकिन 2 दिन पहले गौतम अडानी के खिलाफ एक वारंट निकला, अरेस्ट वारंट, बहुत बड़ा भ्रष्टाचार का आरोप हो गया। उसका ऊपर से ध्यान हटाने के लिए ये पूरा एक कपट कारस्तान हो गया है और उसकी तैयारी पहले से चल रही थी। हमने ये महाराष्ट्र जो गौतम अडानी के जेब में जा रहा है, मुंबई जेब में जा रहे हैं, हमने विरोध किया। ये अडानी राष्ट्र नहीं होने देंगे, तो इसके लिए इस प्रकार के नतीजे महाराष्ट्र के ऊपर लाद गए हैं। ये जनता का कौल हो ही नहीं सकता। महाराष्ट्र की जनता का मन हमें मालूम है, ये हो ही नहीं सकता है।
पहली बार नहीं उठ रहा है, बार बार उठता जा रहा है कि क्या ईवीएम पे भी व्यापक चर्चा होनी चाहिए, स्टेक होल्डर से बात करनी चाहिए। इलेक्शन कमीशन उसको सीधे सीधे खारिज कर देता है रादर देन विनिंग ओवर द कॉन्फिडेंस ऑफ द पीपल। कितनी महाराष्ट्र में कितनी जगहों पर मैं गई थी जहां पे वहां पे लोग आकर हमसे कहते थे वोट तो हम आपको देंगे ही, पर आप ईवीएम पर ध्यान दीजिएगा। सबने हमसे यही आकर कहते थे। तो ये क्योंकि इतना चेंज आया है फ्रॉम लोकसभा टू महाराष्ट्र का ये विधानसभा चुनाव, हैरान करने वाला है। और इस पे मैं मानती हूं कि इवन फॉर मी मेंटली इट्स क्वाइट अनएक्सेप्टेबल कि इतना हमने आक्रोश देखकर भी वोट में कन्वर्ट नहीं हुआ, इस तरीके के नतीजे आए हैं। एक प्रश्न चिन्ह उठाता है कि क्या ये सही मायने में फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन था।
जैसा कि आप इलेक्शन कमीशन की वेबसाइट पे देख रहे थे, मैं लगातार जो है आगे चल रहा था, हत्ता कि 17वें राउंड तक जो है मैं आगे चल रहा था और कुल राउंड जो थे वो 19 थे। और फिर एक मिस्ट्री चालू होती है कि जो ईवीएम सुबह वोटिंग के दिन सुबह 7 बजे से लेके शाम को 6 बजे तक चली थी, उनकी 99% बैटरी निकलती है। और वो 99% बैटरी जहाँ जहाँ निकलती है उसमें मेरी जो सामने वाली उम्मीदवार हैं सना मलिक जी, जो सुबह से यहाँ नहीं आई थी, शायद उनको अंदाज़ा था। हम लोग यहाँ 5:30 बजे आ गए थे, लेकिन वो अब तक यहाँ नहीं आई थी, शायद उनको अंदाज़ा था। लेकिन जिस तरह की शायद महाराष्ट्र के अंदर जिस तरह की भी चीज़ें चल रही थी, उस घटना के बाद जो रुख महाराष्ट्र की राजनीति में हो रहा था, 99% की जो ईवीएम निकल रही थी उसमें मेरे से उनको डबल वोट मिल रहा था। और बूथ पे वो मुझसे पीछे चल रही हैं, लेकिन जैसे ही कोई भी ईवीएम खुलती है जिसमें 99% बैटरी है, उस ईवीएम को कहीं ना कहीं किसी न किसी तरीके से उसमें डबल ट्रिपल का मार्जिन सना मलिक जी लेके चल रही हैं।
Certainly, I think all the analysts in the whole of India, I don't know what is the mechanism why we have lost so much. The reason is even in MP, when you see Madhya Pradesh, the ruling government has got 8% of increase of vote share. It is surprising. Even if Congress gets, I would like to know what is the reason. I'm not trying to straight away blame, but always I'm trying to put there is a doubt, element of doubt. The reason is could be there is a chance of tampering. The reason is in the parliament election, same Modi ji comes and he does not get some mandate there. After 6 months, the same ruling government, which definitely runs with an anti-incumbency, does get so much huge of majority, is always a question mark. Even if Congress would have won, there has to be reasoning why it has won with such thumping majority.
ईवीएम पर विस्तृत चर्चा होनी चाहिए, व्यापक चर्चा होनी चाहिए, लेकिन वो दिन आज का दिन नहीं है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक चुनाव का परिणाम अच्छा नहीं आया है, हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा सबक है इसमें, ये डिसअपॉइंटिंग है। हम ईवीएम पर जरूर व्यापक चर्चा करना चाहते हैं। हम जिस तरह से महाराष्ट्र का चुनाव टाला गया, महायुति को वक्त मिला अपनी स्कीम लॉन्च करने का, 3-3 इंस्टॉलमेंट्स गए, वो सारे फैक्टर्स हैं। लेकिन डिसअपॉइंटिंग बात यह है कि हमारे वो नंबर्स नहीं है जिसकी हमें आशा थी।
And actor Swara Bhaskar, she too blamed the EVM for her husband, NCP, the Sharad Pawar faction candidate Fahad Ahmed, losing in the Anushakti Nagar constituency in Maharashtra. She spoke just a short while back to India Today on why she felt that the EVM, according to her, is not above board. Listen in.
Swara Bhaskar is alleging that in the seat that her husband was fighting in Anushakti Nagar, where he's lost to Sana Malik, the allegation is that there was some tampering with the EVMs or the EVMs weren't working well. Swara Bhaskar is now live with us. She was at a counting center just a moment ago when we connected. So Swara, can you explain the reasons behind you leveling this very serious charge?
Yeah, so we, as I think was reported in the media as well, and was on the Election Commission website, that Fahad has been leading in almost every round except maybe round 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. Barring that, he was leading right up to the 16th round. And even in the rounds where the margin of lead was reducing, the number of votes that both Sanaji and Fahad were getting were like about the same. From the 17th, in the last 3 rounds, which is 17, 18, and 19, this is not my allegation, Rahul. This is the allegation of the counting agents who were inside the booth, who towards the last round started basically questioning the fact that many of the EVMs that were actually most of the EVMs in those rounds were 99% charged. And and the question that they raised was that how can EVMs that have been used throughout the day on the day of polling be 99% charged? Like, how can they have barely been used? And those are the last 3 rounds, the EVMs. Those are the places where the pattern is quite unusual, right? So, I mean, you're an analyst. So where there is a pattern of a steady lead, and even where the lead is dropping or reducing, the number of votes polled for both candidates are almost the same. How can in the last 3 rounds suddenly, there be such a huge jump? So then, and then the EVM be 99% charged. So those were the 2 sort of things that they found fishy, the counting agents. And now I think that they have made a demand and an application for a recounting and a matching of VVPAT slips to the machines that have allegedly been.
So what have the agents you spoke to at the counting center, Swara, told you? Are they willing to consider these charges and investigate them?
So when I'm not there anymore, but at the last moment they were willing to first. They said they'll go step by step, that at first they will match the VVPAT slips to the machines upon which objections have been raised. And after that, if those slips are indeed found that there is a problem, then they will order a recounting of the last 3 rounds, or whichever rounds that are.
One of the most stunning results of this election in Maharashtra for the Shiv Sena has been the number of seats won by Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray faction. They've won or are leading, as the latest information tells you, in 21 seats. Compare that to Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena, which has won or leading in 54 seats. Of course, when you talk about the Bharatiya Janata Party on its own has won or is leading is 133 of 288 seats. But what does this mean for Uddhav Thackeray? And this is one question that was repeatedly raised throughout this election. Who is the real inheritor of Hindu Hriday Samrat Balasaheb Thackeray's legacy? And this has effectively been answered, according to both Devendra Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde, by the voters of Maharashtra. But what does this mean for Uddhav Thackeray and his faction of the Shiv Sena? We get you more in this report.
The loyal deputy has now come of his own. It was in 2022 that Eknath Shinde dumped Uddhav, citing an insult to the legacy of Balasaheb Thackeray. And since then, there's been a bitter battle over who is the real Sena and who is the real claimant of the Thackeray legacy. The voters have taken their pick. Eknath Shinde has trumped Uddhav, and how? Uddhav, banking heavily on his surname, has lost the poll battle, and with it, the legacy battle. In the 38 seats that Shinde Sena and Uddhav Sena squared off in, the Shinde camp has a strike rate of over 65%.
In the Sena versus Sena contest, there were 38 seats where it's 1 and 2, Sena versus UBT, right? 26 of those have gone in favor of Eknath Shinde. 12 of them have gone in favor of Uddhav Thackeray.
Eknath Shinde has decisively won the Sena versus Sena battle, even expanding his footprint from beyond Thane and into Mumbai.
मैंने कहा था कि महायुति को थंपिंग मेजॉरिटी मिलेगी और इसीलिए मैं तमाम मतदाता जो है, मेरी लाडली बहनाओं को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ, लाडले किसानों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ और लाडले हमारे भाई हैं, लाडले सीनियर सिटीजन हैं, सभी वर्ग जो है, सभी वर्ग को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ.
The Mahuayuti, celebrating their sweep, has reiterated that the real Sena battle has been settled.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक प्रकार से लोगों ने अपना मैंडेट दे दिया. लोगों ने एकनाथ शिंदे जी को रियल शिवसेना के रूप में स्वीकार कर लिया है. बाला साहेब ठाकरे की हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहेब ठाकरे की जो शिवसेना है, उसकी लेजिटिमेसी ये एकनाथ शिंदे जी को मिली है और जो मूल एनसीपी है उसकी लेजिटिमेसी अजित पवार जी को मिली.
Uddhav Thackeray, whose party has managed to win just about 20 seats, faces the biggest crisis now of his political career. The Uddhav Sena right now is sulking, even calling the results illegal.
ऐसा है कि हर चुनाव क्षेत्र में नोटों की मशीन लगाई थी. अरे शिंदे का एक भी उम्मीदवार सिटिंग एमएलए गिरता नहीं और शिंदे ये बोल रहे थे हमारा एक भी सिटिंग विधायक गिरेगा नहीं. आपको मालूम होगा तो मैं इस्तीफा दूंगा. ऐसा होता है क्या चुनाव में कभी? हमारा एक भी नहीं गिरेगा. ये कौन सा भरोसा है? ये कौन सी है? ये कौन सा लोकतंत्र है? 200 के ऊपर किसी को चुनाव में नतीजे मिलते हैं क्या? जिस देश में, जिस राज्य में सबसे बड़ी बेईमानी हो गई है, इस राज्य की जनता बेईमान नहीं है.
Shinde Sena by itself at the same number of seats as the entire India alliance put together. What do you think went so dramatically wrong in this election, ma'am?
To be very honest, I don't really know. And I won't be able to give you answers because I wasn't mentally prepared to come on television channels accepting this kind of a defeat. And again, I'm just hoping something would turn around simply because we saw that it was a very close fight. What we saw on ground was a lot of anger against the government. What we saw was tremendous amount of support coming from the people. All the surveys across the state showed that Uddhav ji was amongst the most popular, and the votes don't seem to be matching up to the sentiment that we were seeing on the ground. So right now, I don't have an answer to this particular question as to what really did not work for us. But again, it does raise questions on, when we are gauging the mood of the people, when we are seeing different surveys and outcomes coming out to be totally different. What really went wrong is something for everyone to speculate.
The Thackeray legacy battle has been settled for now, as has the battle over who is the real Shiv Sena. Bureau Report, India Today.
And Union Home Minister Amit Shah, he's hailed the Mahuayuti on its spectacular win, on its landslide win. Amit Shah took to social media platform X to say the victory of the Mahuayuti is the victory of the double-engine governments. politics of performance led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The people of Maharashtra have rejected the politics of appeasement and have once again expressed their faith in the legacy, development and welfare of the poor, followed by the Mahuayuti. I heartily congratulate all the workers of the BJP, Maharashtra BJP National President JP Nadda, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar for this grand victory. The BJP is planning a massive celebration in the national capital, in the BJP headquarters. But when you look at the numbers, and since we were talking about the Sena on its own, so Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray at 21 is less than half of what Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde has, 54. In fact, Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde has more than the entire Mahavikas Aghadi put together at 51. And I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Aishwarya Paliwal joining us from the BJP headquarters. Aishwarya, the BJP has reason to celebrate, not just because of the Mahuayuti's spectacular victory, the first time ever that Indian alliance has crossed 200, but the BJP's own performance at 132. Better than what they'd expected, Aishwarya. What's planned later this evening?
Well, let me tell you, the Prime Minister, Gaurav, will be here and he'll be speaking with the supporters and will also fuse them with new enthusiasm, building it up for the next big election that will take place in the national capital. Now, let me tell you, in Feb, that's the month when we will see the Delhi elections taking place. The BJP now will go full swing for Delhi elections, and this is a victory that now they will remember. The supporters, let me tell you, Gaurav, have started arriving in large numbers. Prime Minister, we are expecting him to be present here in almost half an hour from now. आप जहां से आए हैं वहां ये बताइए कि कितना उत्साह है और आप ये जो पूरा वस्त्र पहन के आए हैं मोदी जी के स्वागत के लिए आए।
मैं यहाँ 150वां सभा के लिए आया हूँ। मेरे श्री राम रूपी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री की भारत में जहाँ जहाँ सभा होती है मैं इसी रूप में सभा का साक्षी बनने के लिए आ जाता हूँ। आज गरीबों के मसीहा, दलितों के मसीहा, आज ओबीसी के मसीहा, आज आदिवासी के मसीहा, सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबके प्रयास की पद्धति पर ये गरीब घर में जन्म लेने वाले माननीय प्रधानमंत्री योजना दर योजना लाकर गरीबों को जो लाभान्वित किए हैं वो आज दिख रहा है। भारत एक विकासशील जो था वो विकसित के पथ पर अग्रसर है और पूरे दुनिया देख रहा है। जहां मोदी जाएंगे वहां काम भी होगा, वहां नाम भी होगा। और उत्साह पूर्वक आज जो है महाराष्ट्र में जो जनता ने चर भर के एनडीए को वोट दिया है वो आज दिख रहा है।
So, Gaurav, these are the kind of supporters who have come here and who believe that it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is just the beginning of the victory streak. That is what the supporters believe. Now, the victory sign you will be able to see. The stage that you are seeing right behind me, Gaurav, that's the place where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming. Supporters in large numbers. The one color which you can see here abundantly is the saffron color. In fact, people have now also come and they are pressing the BJP. So, these are people who have come here, the supporters of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and of Bharatiya Janata Party. All of them showing the enthusiasm that they have.
Aishwarya, you've been covering the elections in Haryana and in Maharashtra very closely. What turned it around after the Lok Sabha, when the BJP stalled at 240 on its own? Of course, NDA, the Prime Minister was able to return to power for a historic third term. But how did BJP turn it around? Because everyone said BJP will lose Haryana, BJP will lose Maharashtra, and the BJP hasn't done well in Jharkhand at all. So these were three states the BJP was to lose. How did they manage to pull off a victory in 2 of 3? What was the inside story? What's the inside story?
Gaurav, let me tell you at least 2 things that the BJP did right after the Lok Sabha elections. First, ear to the ground, because the party realized that somewhere one of the things that they forgot to do was to keep the ear to the ground. So that's what they did in Haryana and that's what they did massively in the state of Maharashtra. Let me also tell you, most of the top leaders have been visiting Maharashtra, and in fact some of them have been stayed in fact in Mumbai over the past 2 to 3 months, making sure that they understand what was the pulse of the people. And with that, they also made sure that they dole out or give a lot of incentives to the women, because women voters, Gaurav, let me tell you, they have solidified the women voters and have also made sure that they give a lot of benefits that cut across caste lines, benefits that cut across everything else. And that's the reason why now we are seeing a consolidation taking place. Now also making sure that there is no infighting, because the BJP realized that the infighting was the plague that was in the opposition parties, so making sure that no infighting takes place. Even though the BJP has some of the top leaders, they made sure that there is no infighting. The goal was very clear and everyone was working for that one goal, winning Maharashtra. Who will become the chief minister? That was question number 2. The question 1, and the hurdle was to win Maharashtra first.
Of course, the bigger challenge now for the BJP remains Delhi, a state it hasn't been able to come back to par after that onion debacle in 1998. It's never been able to return to par in Delhi. What's the strategy there? Will this victory spur them for Delhi?
Well, definitely, and Gaurav, let me tell you, even though there are close to 3 months for the big elections that will take place in the national capital, the BJP has already started working on it. They will not be repeating the mistakes that they did in Lok Sabha 2024 elections. And you asked me, what is that one thing, keeping ear to the ground? The second thing is that you cannot be lax for any of the elections, because the Char So Par slogan was something that the BJP thought would work in their favor. It did not do so. So now keeping ears to the ground and working in advance, that's something that will be the formula that will be followed by the BJP. And we'll see a repeat of the kind of work that we saw in Haryana and Maharashtra taking place even in the national capital.
Aishwarya, keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more, because after Maharashtra, the most interesting election we'll be tracking very, very closely would be the elections in the national capital. But here, right now, the BJP won in Maharashtra, the Mahuayuti won. It's the opposition that's crying foul over the electronic voting machines. And the Mahuayuti is mocking the Mahavikas Aghadi for raising the EVM question each time it loses elections and keeping quiet when they win elections. So Mahuayuti secured this landslide victory. You're looking at the numbers on your television screen. 230 of 288 for the Mahuayuti and 51 for the Mahavikas Aghadi. The Mahavikas Aghadi says this is just not possible. This is a result of EVM tampering. They're questioning the legitimacy of these results. The Mahavikas Aghadi has leveled multiple allegations ranging from delaying elections, raising questions about the independence of the Election Commission, to alleged manipulation of the electronic voting machine. Shiv Sena, the Uddhav Thackeray faction, they claim that these results are, according to them, impossible, and raise doubts whether the mandate came from either the voter or the EVM. That's what Aditya Thackeray said, even though he won from Worli. The Congress party has accused the BJP of transporting EVMs from Madhya Pradesh to Maharashtra. They say it's the Madhya Pradesh EVMs that give BJP the victory in Maharashtra. The NCP, this is the Sharad Pawar faction, at the Anushakti Nagar seat, the NCP SP candidate Fahad Ahmed, he alleged that the Ajit Pawar faction candidate Sena Malik, she surged ahead, suspiciously surged ahead after certain EVMs that he claimed had 99% charge were opened, and Sena Malik had doubled or tripled the advantage according to him. The Mahuayuti, of course, has dismissed these allegations, accusing the opposition of blaming the EVM each time they lost. And Ajit Pawar said, with the same EVMs, the Mahavikas Aghadi had performed spectacularly better during Lok Sabha elections, and that time they did not blame the EVMs for the defeat. Devendra Fadnavis said EVMs are rigged in Maharashtra but work perfectly fine in Jharkhand, where the India bloc candidates have won. Lots of reactions coming in. Listen in.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक जो नारा दिया था, एक है तो सेफ है, सब समाज को साथ में लाने वाली जो बात प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कही थी, महाराष्ट्र के लोगों ने उसको रिस्पॉन्ड किया है और महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाजों ने एक साथ मिलकर एक बड़ा मैंडेट हमको दिया है। मुझे लगता है कि आज निश्चित रूप से जो लोग तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करना चाहते थे, जो डिविजिव पॉलिटिक्स करना चाहते थे, उनको करारा जवाब जनता ने ही दिया है और प्रधानमंत्री जी की बात को लोगों ने यहाँ पर एक्सेप्ट किया है।
लोकांनी कल्याणाचं आणि विकासाचं राजकारण स्वीकारलं, लोकांनी सुडाचं, आरोपाचं, द्वेषाचं राजकारण झिडकारलं आणि म्हणून 2 निवडणुका ज्या लोकसभेमध्ये पण आणि लोकसभेत फेक नॅरेटिव्ह वगैरे सगळं केलं, काय काय केलं, संविधान बदलणार वगैरे सगळ्या जातीमध्ये भीती निर्माण केली, प्रत्येकाला घाबरवलं, तरी सुद्धा एवढं होऊन पण प्रधानमंत्रीपदी मोदी साहेबच बसले। जनता ने आज बता दिया है, असली नकली में मैं जाऊंगा नहीं, लेकिन बाला साहब ठाकरे जी की विचारधारा वाली जो शिवसेना है, शिवसेना भाजपा की गठबंधन वाली जो शिवसेना है, एक विचारधारा वाली शिवसेना आज लोगों ने तय कर लिया है। कौन है, मैंडेट दिया है लोगों ने। आज अभी तो मुझे लगता है वो तो अभी उनको तो हम कैसे रोकेंगे, वो तो और कुछ ना कुछ बोलते रहेंगे, लेकिन जनता की अदालत में जाने के बाद उनको भी दिखाया है और हमें भी दिखाया है.
अर्थसंकल्प सादर करत असताना आम्ही सरकारमध्ये तिघांनी मिळून काही योजना जाहीर केल्या. त्या योजना इतक्या पॉप्युलर झाल्या, त्याच्यामध्ये लाडकी बहिणा म्हणजे गेम चेंजरच ती योजना झाली. अंडर करंट असा का बहिणींनी दाखवला की मी सगळे उताने पडले, सगळे आडवे झाले.
Now, this election was as much about the hard work that was put by leaders and workers on ground as it was about their strategists working with their laptops behind the scenes. And now let's get to an interaction with two key men behind Ajit Dada Pawar and Eknath Shinde's campaign. Now, Showtime Consultancy's Robert Sharma and Design Box Naresh Arora, they spoke exclusively to India Today, explaining the reasons about this landslide victory, the spectacular first time ever 200 plus for any coalition in these elections. How did they work towards it? We get you the inside story.
Was it the Ladki Bahin, in your view, that made the difference, particularly for Eknath Shinde winning the kind of strike rate that he has, or was there something else beyond that?
No, I think the entire credit and most of it goes to Ladki Bahin, but that worked in our favor. But apart from that, the Mahuayuti alliance has been well prepared. Coordination was very smooth. The preparedness, the readiness was much better than Mahavikas Aghadi. And there was no friction of sorts. For example, we campaigned for each other during the last 15 days. And Eknath Shinde ji, Devendra Fadnavis ji, and Ajit Dada, all three leaders have always coordinated well with each other, helped each other on each other's seats. We have always gone down to detailing of every seat. Wherever we needed each other's support, they have always helped. So I think that coordination, preparedness, and...
So tell us this, the last guy you worked with was Chandrababu Naidu. He has this CEO kind of avatar, very prompt and punctual. Now you're working with Eknath Shinde, who works till 4 a.m. in the morning, and oftentimes during the campaign, you are also up till late at night and therefore waking up late. What's the difference between working for Eknath Shinde and working for Chandrababu Naidu?
Both are very hardworking, but one major difference is that here, Maharashtra CM, he's a mass leader. I think he's one of the biggest mass leader that Maharashtra has ever seen. And he could be one of the biggest mass leader that country could ever see in next 5 to 10 years.
You know, he keeps Robin up at 3 in the morning. That's the big difference. You know, Chandrababu Naidu usually is an early riser. And so Robin's time clock has changed. With Chandrababu Naidu, he had to get up early. With Eknath Shinde, you had to sleep late. Am I correct? Broadly.
No, not even 3. 3 is the average. It's 4, 4:30, even 5:30. So, and he, you know, during, if you see as an example, during election meetings, he used to do 7 to 8 election meetings in a day. Come back at 10:30, 11 in the night. Then he used to start interview. I'm sure, Rajdeep, you took interview at 4 a.m. in the morning.
4 a.m. Finished at 4:11.
Yeah. So he used to give interviews after he completes election meetings at 6 until 6 in the morning. Then 9:30 he gets up and goes for election meetings again. So that's how his schedule was. So he worked really hard, and I think that's paying off.
I need to ask a question. Did you have some specific strategy for Sena versus Sena contest, or was it really the same for all the seats you contested?
I think for Sena versus Sena contest, one thing I can tell now that we utilized that confusion of CM face that they were having, Mahavikas Aghadi. Because there are two factors that helped, I think. One is that Katengo Batenge was able to break certain core Uddhav Thackeray, Uddhav Sena votes in favor of us. Number two, the confusion of CM face, that Uddhav ji might not be the CM face and Congress will have a CM face, that also helped us in Sena versus Sena contest.
Were you expecting this result, 39 out of 59 odd seats, or is this even better? Because Sharad Pawar's faction is reduced to just 12. This is a complete turnaround from the Lok Sabha campaign where the strike rate was 1 out of 5. You know, the tables have completely turned in terms of which is the real NCP.
Well, of course, when Rajdeep and Rahul, both who you were in Maharashtra, we were discussing, and I was confident that we'll be touching somewhere around 35 to 40 seats. And to be honest, the 40 was not the number we were looking at. We were aiming for, but yes, something around 35 we were confident that we will be achieving. And we were contesting 57 seats on our symbol, and out of that, we should be around 40.
What, according to you, changed between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha? Quite apart from you joining hands with Ajit Pawar, I'm sure that had some impact. But what, according to you, was the major factor that changed between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha so much?
See, apart from whatever the government schemes and the campaign and the projection, etc., there was one thing which Ajit Pawar had to understand about the change of his role. From an administrator, which everyone vouches for him from opposition to the people who are in power, he had to take on the role of a vote getter as well. He was a person who was reluctant for media. He never used to speak to media. He was never going out for public meetings and the interactions that a vote getter should be doing or a party president should be doing. So first of all, it was the change required for him to understand that he has a bigger and a different role now. Once he understood that that is his role, of course, you could see everything changing on the ground, from Jan Samman Yatra to the adoring of the pink color and getting to the women folk fair to see that they connect with him, whatever he is wanting to communicate. And mind you, Rajdeep understands Marathi more than anyone else, that he is a very good orator as well. So that those oratory skills were not being utilized as the way they should have been for a leader who's wanting to have votes for his party in his name or on his symbol.
But why, may I ask you, why pink? May I ask you why pink? And is it true that you asked him to smile more?
Well, Rahul asked the same question to me on the India Today conclave, but it's not that I have to ask him to smile more. It's just that he needs to speak to people more. And while speaking, of course, his original self does come out. And one other thing which I told that time also, that probably for 30 years that he's not been smiling or has not been seen smiling, probably that is why people notice it more.
And the biggest question right now is Maharashtra ka Mukhyamantri kaun? Who would be the next chief minister of Maharashtra? Will it be Eknath Shinde or will it be Devendra Fadnavis, or could there be a dark horse that we are not talking about at all? Of course, the Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, he does become a very strong candidate to be Chief Minister of Maharashtra once again with BJP's stellar performance. Look at the strike rate of the Bharatiya Janata Party, 85% plus. The Mahuayuti has said all the three parties, they will now sit together. They will decide on their leaders, and then there would be consultation on who would be the chief minister and who would be the deputy chief ministers. They, of course, slammed Mahavikas Aghadi politics. They said they were fighting on who would be chief minister even before winning elections. Here, there is a problem of plenty, but that is after winning the elections. And we'll be tracking that story very, very closely. That is all I have for you on this special broadcast. Many thanks for watching. One thing is very clear, the voters of India have spoken and spoken very decisively. A quick break, news and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.
With Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sena, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Big blow to MVA in Maharashtra as Mahuayuti crosses majority mark. Jharkhand Assembly election results declared, Hemant Soren set to form government again. Supreme Court issues notice to CBI and ED on Manish Sisodia's bail relaxation plea in Delhi excise policy case.
Certainly, I think all the analysts in the whole of India, I don't know what is the mechanism why we have lost so much. The reason is even in MP when you see Madhya Pradesh, the ruling government has got 8% of increase of vote share. It is surprising. Even if Congress gets, I would like to know what is the reason. I'm not trying to, straight away blame, but always I'm trying to put there is a doubt, element of doubt. The reason is, could be there is a chance of tampering. The reason is, in the parliament election, same Modi ji comes and he does not get some mandate there. After 6 months, the same ruling government, which definitely runs with an anti-incumbency, does get so much huge of majority, is always a question mark. Even if Congress would have won, there has to be reasoning why it has won with such thumping majority.
पहली बार नहीं उठ रहा है, बार बार उठता जा रहा है कि क्या ईवीएम पे भी व्यापक चर्चा होनी चाहिए, स्टेक होल्डर से बात करनी चाहिए. इलेक्शन कमीशन उसको सीधे सीधे खारिज कर देता है रादर देन विनिंग ओवर द कॉन्फिडेंस ऑफ द पीपल. कितनी महाराष्ट्र में कितनी जगहों पर मैं गई थी जहां
उद्धव ठाकरे ने 2019 में नरेंद्र मोदी को धोखा दिया, लोगों ने सबक सिखाया. राहुल गांधी और उद्धव ठाकरे लव जिहाद, लैंड जिहाद, वोट जिहाद के समर्थन में मैदान उतरे. महाराष्ट्र की जनता चिंतित हो चुकी. टाटा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सोशल साइंस का जो रिपोर्ट आया था, क्या ऐसा ही रहा तो बांग्लादेशी मुस्लिम, रोहिंग्या मुस्लिम के कारण मुंबई में 2050 में हिंदू लोक संख्या सिर्फ 54% बढ़ेगी. तो लोगों ने जो भाजपा की विकास की नीति और जो वोट जिहाद का बदले धर्म युद्ध का समर्थन किया.
आप एक हैं तो सेफ हैं, बटों के तो गटों की नारे की बात कर रहे हैं. आपको लगता है कि इस बार हिंदुओं ने एक साथ एकमुश्त होकर महायुति को समर्थन दिया?
इस बार विश्वास और विकास दोनों में मानने वाले मतदाताओं ने नरेंद्र मोदी जी के एक है तो सेफ है, बटेंगे तो कटेंगे, वोट जिहाद विरुद्ध धर्म युद्ध, उसमें विश्वास व्यक्त किया.
संजय राउत कह रहे हैं कि उनको ये डाइजेस्ट नहीं है रिजल्ट और वो चाहते हैं बैलेट पेपर चुनाव.
किसी के भी घर में अपने कोई प्रकल्प का, कोई किसी व्यक्ति का मृत्यु होता है. आज महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने उद्धव ठाकरे सेना विसर्जित कर दी, तो स्वाभाविक है उनको दुख तो होगा.
आज मैं महाराष्ट्र के तमाम मतदाताओं को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ, उनका अभिनंदन करता हूँ, क्योंकि ये विक्ट्री जो है ये लैंडस्लाइड विक्ट्री है. ये मैंने कहा था कि महायुति को थम्पिंग मेजोरिटी मिलेगी और इसीलिए मैं तमाम मतदाता जो है, मेरी लाडली बहनाओं को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ, लाडले किसानों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ और लाडले हमारे भाई हैं, लाडले सीनियर सिटीजन हैं, सभी वर्ग जो है, सभी वर्ग को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि उन्होंने ऐसी विजयश्री प्राप्त कर दी है कि न भूतो न भविष्य तो ऐसी विक्ट्री जो इस बार मिली है, जो 2-2.5 साल हमारी महायुति ने काम किया है। ये महायुति ने जो काम किया है उसके काम के ऊपर ये जनता ने शिक्का मुर्तब किया है, काम को तवज्जो दिया है, प्राथमिकता दी है और इसीलिए महायुति को इतनी बड़ी जीत हासिल हुई है। इसलिए मैं महायुति के पूरे महाराष्ट्र की जनता को तो धन्यवाद देता ही हूँ, उनका स्वागत करता हूँ, लेकिन महायुति के सभी कार्यकर्ताओं को भी धन्यवाद देता हूँ। उन्होंने जो काम किया है बहुत ही बढ़िया काम किया है और इस चुनाव में हमारे महायुति को जिताया है, इसलिए मैं बहुत बहुत उनका आभारी हूँ।
पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार आने वाली है। ये जनादेश स्पष्ट है कि अब प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में गरीब, किसान, युवा, महिलाओं के लिए जो काम उन्होंने शुरू किया है, जनता ने उस पर आशीर्वाद दिया है।
ईवीएम पर विस्तृत चर्चा होनी चाहिए, व्यापक चर्चा होनी चाहिए, लेकिन वो दिन आज का दिन नहीं है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक चुनाव का परिणाम अच्छा नहीं आया है, हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा सबक है इसमें, ये डिसअपॉइंटिंग है। हम ईवीएम पर जरूर व्यापक चर्चा करना चाहते हैं। हम जिस तरह से महाराष्ट्र का चुनाव टाला गया, महायुति को वक्त मिला अपनी स्कीम लॉन्च करने का, 3-3 इंस्टॉलमेंट्स गए, वो सारे फैक्टर्स हैं, लेकिन डिसअपॉइंटिंग बात यह है कि हमारे वो नंबर्स नहीं है जिसकी हमें आशा थी। नहीं, मैं बिल्कुल मानती हूं कि महाराष्ट्र के रिजल्ट हमारी आशा के विपरीत गए हैं और इसमें मुझे कोई संशय नहीं है कि हम शायद महाराष्ट्र में बहुत ज्यादा बेटर कर सकते थे, लेकिन इस बात की खुशी है कि झारखंड में हमारी परफॉर्मेंस अच्छी रही है। इस बात की भी खुशी है कि झारखंड में हमारी सरकार रिपीट हम करने जा रहे हैं। हम सबक सीखते हैं इलेक्शन से और ड्राइंग बोर्ड पर जाकर हम देखेंगे कि क्या हुआ। महाराष्ट्र का इलेक्शन बिल्कुल डिसअपॉइंटिंग है, लेकिन झारखंड एक उम्मीद है और एक आशा है कि अगर मुद्दों पर चुनाव लड़ा जाए तो जीत आपकी जरूर होती है, सरकार रिपीट होती है।
जो नतीजे सामने आए उसके ऊपर मैं विश्वास रखने को तैयार नहीं। ये
प्रेजेंटेड बाय पारुल यूनिवर्सिटी वडोदरा गुजरात, को प्रेजेंटेड बाय आपका जॉय भारत का जॉय, जॉय ई बाइक, महिंद्रा इलेक्ट्रिक ओरिजिन एसयूवीज।
It was a magical day for the Mahuayuti at the hustings in Maharashtra. A victory beyond the wildest imagination of BJP supporters. What impact does this have on the future of Indian politics? Also, the India Alliance winning big in Jharkhand. We're tracking all of this. Key newsmakers will be joining us over the next couple of hours. Let's get started. Here are the headlines I'm tracking this evening. It's a Mahuayuti tsunami in Maharashtra. BJP secures its third consecutive victory in the state. Sena gets more seats than the Mahavikas Aghadi combined. Ajit Pawar redeems himself with the NCP's performance. PM Modi hails the UT victory, says development and good governance has won. PM declares united, we will soar even higher. He also congratulates Hemant Soren on his win in Jharkhand. The race for the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra intensifies. Who will it be? Eknath Shinde or Devendra Fadnavis? Ajit Pawar's wife says the NCP Neta could be made CM. After the poll route. Mahavikas Agadi cries EVM conspiracy. Aditya Thackeray says it needs to be investigated if people or EVMs gave the verdict. Sanjay Raut says the results are unbelievable. JMM-led India alliance wins Jharkhand. Hemant Soren set to return as Chief Minister, thanks his wife and star campaigner Kalpana Soren for the victory. BJP alliance wins 7 out of 9 seats in Uttar Pradesh bypolls. UP CM Yogi Adityanath credits the Prime Minister for the victory, says "Ek rahenge to safe rahenge" message resonated with voters.
जनता जनार्दन ने स्पष्ट कर दिया है कि समाजवादी पार्टी और इंडी गठबंधन का लूट और झूठ की जो पॉलिटिक्स है, अब इसके अंत की उद्घोषणा भी यह चुनाव है।
Priyanka Gandhi Watra makes her smashing debut as Lok Sabha MP, wins Wayanad by over 4 lakh votes. Priyanka thanks her brother Rahul for his support. One of the biggest disappointments today is for the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Sena. Uddhav Thackeray at this moment doing a press conference. Let's listen in live to what he has to say. This is the worst possible outcome for Uddhav Thackeray, who was hoping to be Chief Minister of the Mahavikas Agadi. Let's listen to the UBT chief.
सुरक्षितता वाऱ्यावरती सोडली गेले म्हणून दिली का? म्हणजे नेमकं कळत नाही की कोणत्या प्रेमापोटी हा शब्द चुकीचा आहे, रागापोटी अशी ही लाट जणू काय उसळले हे कळत नाहीये. हा निकाल अनाकलनीय आहे आणि याच्या मागचं गुपित हे काही दिवसामध्ये तर शोधावं लागेल. तूर्त मी महाराष्ट्राच्या जनतेला सांगतोय की आपण निराश होऊ नका, खचून जाऊ नका. काही जण म्हणतात की हा ईव्हीएमचा विजय आहे, असूही शकतो, पण महाराष्ट्राच्या जनतेला हा निकाल मान्य असेल तर मग कोणीच काही बोलण्याची गरज नाहीये. पण जर मान्य नसेल तर त्यांना सांगतो की आम्ही प्राणपणाने महाराष्ट्रासाठी लढत राहू, महाराष्ट्राच्या हितासाठी आम्ही लढत राहू. कोणी काही म्हटलं तरी महाराष्ट्राच्या जनतेला मी वचन देतो की आम्ही तुमच्या सोबत आहोत.
हा जो विजय आहे महायुतीचा, लाडकी बहीणचा इम्पॅक्ट असल्याचं म्हटलं जाते.
लाडकी बहीणचा इम्पॅक्ट जर का असेल तर मग बाकीच्या ज्या काही गोष्टी या उघड उघड दिसत होता, आपण सुद्धा रिपोर्टिंग केलेलं आहे. मी तेच म्हटलं ना की सोयाबीनला भाव नाही आहे, कापूस खरेदी होत नाही, शेतकऱ्याच्या डोक्यावरती कर्ज चढलेलं आहे, बेरोजगारी वाढते आहे, महिला असुरक्षित आहेत, ह्या अशा अनेक गोष्टी आहेत, बेकारी वाढते आहे. तर लाडकी बहीण पेक्षा ज्या महिला आमच्या सभेला प्रचंड संख्येने येत होत्या त्यांच्यासमोर प्रश्न होता की घर कसं वाढवायचं, चालवायचं. कारण महागाई वाढते म्हणजे वाढती महागाईची शाबासकी म्हणून या सरकारला मत दिलं का? आणि आता मला एक असं वाटतं प्रामाणिकपणे, हा टोमणा नाही, की यावेळेला तरी अस्सल भाजपचा कोणतरी मुख्यमंत्री होईल अशी अपेक्षा आहे किंवा आशा आहे. महाराष्ट्र विकास आघाडीचं आम्ही फार प्रामाणिकपणाने वागलो, हे चुकलं की काय असं मला वाटतंय.
and very transparent. Now I think that it was the mistake by us.
288 पैकी या मोजलेल्या जागा किती आहेत? 288 पैकी बरोबर आहे, पण 288 पैकी या जागा किती आहेत आणि अशाच काही जागा या त्यांच्याकडे पण आहेत. पण म्हणून मी म्हटलं ना की अशी लाट उसळले, असं काय नेमकं यांनी काम केले ते तिथे दाखवा ना. पण आणखी एक
complete wave has been from their side.
त्यांचं अभिनंदन करण्यामध्ये मला कुठे कद्रूपणा दाखवायचं नाहीये. मी त्यांचं अभिनंदन करतो. आणि आता निवडणूक आयोगाने स्थगिती दिलेली लाडकी बहीण ही योजना पूर्ववत चालू करून त्याच्यात 2100 रुपये दर महिना ते द्यायला लागतील.
The mandate of the people and I congratulate Mahuayuti alliance.
नंतर कोणी बोलू नये की असा जुमला तर निवडणुकीच्या वेळेला करावा लागतो. या सगळ्या आश्वासनांची पूर्तता त्यांनी लवकरात लवकर करावी अशी माझी मागणी आहे.
Forward that schemes like Ladli Behan could continue. No one should come forward and say that it was just a Chunavi jumla.
हाच एक अनाकलनीय बदल आणि मला असं वाटतं की कोरोनाच्या काळामध्ये कुटुंब प्रमुखापर्यंत प्रमाणे माझं ऐकणारा महाराष्ट्र हा माझ्याशी असा वागेल याच्यावरती माझा विश्वास नाहीये. कारण मी
during the corona period I discharged my duties as the head of the family, but the people of Maharashtra will treat me like this. It is unbelievable.
मुस्लिम एक पोलराइजेशन दिखाई दिया, खुल के बात कर रहे थे, बटेंगे तो कटेंगे. आपको लगता है
ये कुछ नहीं चला, क्योंकि बेकारी तो कुछ चीजें ऐसी होती है कि जो सेक्युलर होती है, जैसे बेकारी है, महंगाई है, वो सेक्युलर है. सभी को महंगाई की मार पड़ रही है, सभी को जो बेरोजगारी है वो सता रही है, तो ऐसे कुछ नहीं.
एकनाथ शिंदे यांच्या शिवसेनेच्या जवळपास 55 जागा आलेल्या आहेत. त्यांचं असं म्हणणं आहे की या निकालातून
That was Uddhav Thackeray saying he finds these results unbelievable. He doesn't think he did anything so bad that this is the verdict that the people of Maharashtra would deliver. It will take some time for these leaders to come to terms with what has been a tsunami in Maharashtra. There were Maha celebrations. Meanwhile, in the Mahuayuti, the BJP, the Shiv Sena, the NCP alliance together registered a stunning victory in these elections. Earlier this evening, the three big faces, Devendra Fadnavis, Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar, addressed a press conference where they hailed their victory as a win for Vikas and declared that the Maha Vikas Agadi's false narrative has been demolished.
लोकांनी कल्याणाचं आणि विकासाचं राजकारण स्वीकारलं. लोकांनी सुडाचं, आरोपाचं, द्वेषाचं राजकारण झिडकारलं. आणि म्हणून दोन निवडणुका ज्या लोकसभेमध्ये पण आणि लोकसभेत फेक नॅरेटिव्ह वगैरे सगळं केलं, काय काय केलं, संविधान बदलणार वगैरे सगळ्या जातीमध्ये भीती निर्माण केली, प्रत्येकाला घाबरवलं, तरी सुद्धा एवढं होऊन पण प्रधानमंत्रीपदी मोदी साहेबच बसले.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक जो नारा दिया था, एक है तो सेफ है, सब समाज को साथ में लाने वाली जो बात प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कही थी, महाराष्ट्र के लोगों ने उसको रिस्पॉन्ड किया है और महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाजों ने एक साथ मिलकर एक बड़ा मैंडेट हमको दिया है. मुझे लगता है कि आज निश्चित रूप से जो लोग तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करना चाहते थे, जो डिविजिव पॉलिटिक्स करना चाहते थे, उनको करारा जवाब जनता ने ही दिया है और प्रधानमंत्री जी की बात को लोगों ने यहाँ पर एक्सेप्ट किया है.
महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेने विकासाकडे बघून महायुतीला प्रचंड अशा प्रकारचं जे यश प्राप्त करून दिलंय, त्याबद्दल महाराष्ट्रातल्या तमाम जनतेचं महायुतीच्या वतीनं व्यक्तिशः माझ्या वतीनं मी त्यांना मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो, मनापासून आभार मानतो.
The BJP at 132 out of 145 seats. This is a historic victory, way beyond what the BJP would have expected. I want to go across to the party's National General Secretary, a man who comes from Maharashtra. Vinod Tavade now joins us on this broadcast. Tavade sahab, many congratulations. क्या ये जो जीत हुई है महाराष्ट्र में आपकी जो उम्मीद थी, इंटरनल उम्मीद, उससे भी बहुत बढ़ के है?
बिल्कुल साहब, हम 205, 210 तो पक्का सोच रहे थे, लेकिन ये थोड़े और 15-20 सीटें जो हमने कैलकुलेट नहीं की थी वो हमको मिलते जा रही है. और ये जीत जो है, मैं मानता हूं कि जो महायुति सरकार ने पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट एंड पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ इनडायरेक्ट बेनिफिट, मतलब इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल डेवलपमेंट, वंदे भारत वगैरह एक तरफ अच्छी तरह करते रहे और डायरेक्ट लाडली बहना है, किसान का बिल माफ करना है, ये दोनों का जो बैलेंस किया, उस कारण ये जीत है. और मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में ये बैलेंसिंग एक्ट महायुति को जिता रहा है.
पोलिंग से ठीक पहले आप पे बहुत संगीन आरोप लगे, वोटर्स को घूस देने के, जिस जगह पे आप थे वहां से 10 लाख रुपए कैश बरामद हुआ. वो कितना बड़ा सेटबैक था, क्योंकि इतनी बड़ी कंट्रोवर्सी में आप खुद फंस गए, वो भी चुनाव से ठीक पहले?
नहीं, मेरा मानना है कि मैं तो फाइटर हूं, मिडिल क्लास से आने वाला एक कार्यकर्ता हूं, और इसका नतीजा आज दोनों बाप बेटे ने वसई और नाला सोपारा में देख लिया. उन्होंने गलत तरीके से मेरे विरोध में षड्यंत्र किया, तो उसका नतीजा दोनों ने भुगता और दोनों सीटें अपने हार गए. मुझे लगता है कि राजनीति करनी होती है, एक लेवल पे करनी होती है. दुर्भाग्य से मैंने कभी जिंदगी में मेरे चुनाव में नहीं पैसा बांटा, वहां किसी को मेरे गाड़ी में मेरे मीटिंग की जगह पे कुछ पैसा नहीं मिला, फिर भी वो बोल रहे हैं, राहुल गांधी बोल रहे हैं, खड़गे जी बोल रहे हैं, ये कहां से राजनीति आई? ये मेरे लिए तो सवाल है। और मेरा तो ऐसे लोगों की मानसिकता के विरोध में लड़ने का मॉरल तो और बूस्ट हो गया।
सबसे बड़ा सवाल इस वक्त यह है कि अगला चीफ मिनिस्टर यूटी का कौन होगा? क्या आपको लगता है कि इतनी बड़ी जीत के बाद बीजेपी का ही नेक्स्ट सीएम होना चाहिए या एकनाथ शिंदे कंटिन्यू करेंगे?
मुझे लगता है राहुल जी, अभी अगले 24-36 घंटे की बात है। एकनाथ जी, देवेंद्र जी, अजीत दादा और केंद्रीय नेतृत्व बीजेपी का साथ बैठेगा, डिस्कस करेगा और नाम पे आएगा बात। महायुति का मुख्यमंत्री होगा और सर्वसम्मति से होगा, ये आज मैं आपको पक्का बोलता हूं।
नहीं, क्योंकि सवाल यह है कि अगर कहीं आपने सीएम चेंज कर दिया तो वोटर्स को ये ना लगे कि धोखा हो गया, कि मतलब शक्ल दिखाई आपने शिंदे जी की और किसी और को चीफ मिनिस्टर बनाया। दैट्स व्हाई इट्स अ हॉब्सन चॉइस। काफी मुश्किल ये फैसला है कि अपना आदमी बनाएं या शिंदे जी को कंटिन्यू करें, जिनकी लीडरशिप में आपने ये इलेक्शन लड़ा।
मुझे लगता है कि महायुति का चुनाव हम एकनाथ शिंदे जी के नेतृत्व में लड़े हैं और उसी समय यह कहा था कि सीएम का कैंडिडेट चुनाव के बाद बताएंगे। 2019 में जो हुआ कि चुनाव के समय कुछ कहा और चुनाव के बाद कुछ कहा, ये होगा नहीं। जो होगा वो सर्वसम्मति से चर्चा करके होगा। मुझे याद है 2019 को ऐसे ही चुनाव के रिजल्ट आने के बाद जब देवेंद्र जी ने कहा उद्धव जी को कि हम प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करेंगे, तो उन्हें हाँ करते समय निकालते शरद पवार से चर्चा करते, प्रेस की नहीं। लेकिन यहां भी आपने देखा कि एकनाथ शिंदे, देवेंद्र फडणवीस, अजीत दादा ने साथ आकर जनता को धन्यवाद देने के लिए एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस ली है। मतलब मानसिकता बहुत समान अच्छी है।
लोकसभा इलेक्शन में उस दफा आपके हिसाब से क्या फर्क था? वहां पे आपकी अलायंस केमिस्ट्री के चक्कर में वोट ट्रांसफर नहीं हुआ। इस दफा एलाई सेम थे, लेकिन लगा कि केमिस्ट्री चेंज हो गई और उसके चक्कर में महाराष्ट्र का इलेक्टोरल अरिथमेटिक भी चेंज हो गया।
नहीं, एक तो लोकसभा में हमको वोट कम थे, मतलब 0.03% कम थे, सीटें ज्यादा हमारी गई, ये बात सही है। इसमें दो कारण थे। एक तो अब की बार 400 पार इस नारे के कारण जो 4-5% मोदी जी का वोटर था, वो आने वाले मोदी जी है तो क्या हम नहीं गए तो भी चलेगा, ये वोटर इस बार डट कर वोटिंग के लिए बाहर निकला और उसका लाभ महायुति को हुआ, नंबर 1। और लोकसभा में जो फेक नैरेटिव उन्होंने किया था संविधान बदलने का, तो पिछले 6 महीने में हमने गांव लेवल तक जाकर संविधान अगर बदलना था तो हम 14 में भी मेजॉरिटी थे, 19 में भी हमारी मेजॉरिटी थी, उस समय बदल सकते थे, उस समय नहीं बदला तो अब क्यों बदलेंगे, ये समझाने में हम सफल रहे।
इतना बड़ा मैंडेट तावड़े साहब इस दफा आपकी पार्टी और अलायंस का आया है। ये सरकार और पिछली सरकार में आपके हिसाब से क्या फर्क रहा है? तो तब काफी अनसर्टेनिटी थी, बीजेपी के पास पूरे नंबर्स नहीं थे, अब आप बहुत कंफर्टेबली प्लेस्ड हैं। इन नंबर्स का गवर्नेंस पर लोगों को जो आप काम करके देने वाले हैं उसमें क्या इंपैक्ट होगा?
मुझे लगता है कि अभी बहुत ही बड़े मैंडेट वाली गवर्नमेंट इस महाराष्ट्र स्टेट के लिए एक अच्छा विकास का रोल मॉडल पूरे देश के लिए खड़ा कर सकती है। और माननीय मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में महाराष्ट्र का विकास बड़ी रफ्तार से अगले 5 साल में बढ़ेगा, यह मैं पक्का मानता हूं। क्योंकि अब तो स्थिति ऐसी है कि विपक्ष का नेता भी इनको संविधान के तहत चुनने का अधिकार भी नहीं होगा। और जो बड़े बड़े बोलने वाले लोग जो है राज्यसभा में, वो अपने पार्टी से जा नहीं पाएंगे, उनको आपस के कुछ वोट लेके जाना पड़ेगा। तो ये महाविकास आघाड़ी आगे कितनी टिकेगी, ये भी अभी सवाल है।
उद्धव सेना और एनसीपी शरद पवार के पास काफी कम एमएलए हैं, उम्मीद से बहुत कम। क्या आपका दरवाजा खुला है इनके लिए? क्या आप चाहते हैं कि एक बार हमेशा के लिए इन पार्टियों को खत्म कर दिया जाए?
नहीं, हम पार्टी खत्म करने वाले लोग नहीं हैं। मेरा मानना यह है कि आपका क्षेत्र का विकास, आपका विचार, जैसे उद्धव जी 2019 में अपने हिंदुत्व के विचार को छोड़कर हिंदुत्व का विरोध करने वाले कांग्रेस के साथ गए, सावरकर जी का विरोध करने वाले कांग्रेस के साथ गए। बाला साहब ठाकरे जी को हिंदू हृदय सम्राट नहीं कह सकते हैं, ऐसे राहुल जी के साथ गए। ऐसा कोई हम अपेक्षित नहीं करते हैं।
आप बीजेपी के नेशनल जनरल सेक्रेटरी हैं, महाराष्ट्र में जीत सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन झारखंड में काफी हार हुई एनडीए की, बीजेपी का परफॉर्मेंस भी बहुत कमजोर था, तो झारखंड की स्क्रिप्ट इतनी क्यों गड़बड़ा गई?
बिल्कुल, हमारे लिए झारखंड का भी रिजल्ट बहुत ही हम एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहे थे। काफी वहाँ ग्रासरूट लेवल पर काफी चीजें हमने की थी। थोड़ा एनालिसिस करना पड़ेगा कि कहाँ कमी रह गई कि हम झारखंड में अच्छी सफलता नहीं पाए।
Okay, joining us now, and I'll be joined by many more newsmakers in the hours to come. Thank you very much, Vinod Thackeray ji, for joining us. Really appreciate you taking out time. Amitabh Tiwari, our political strategist and analyst, joins us in the studio. With us also at this time is Seema Malik, spokesperson of the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP. Pushpraj Deshpande is a spokesperson of the Congress, author of the book Bharat Jodo Yatra. Zafar Islam is the national spokesperson of the BJP. One of the leading commentators of the party on economic affairs, Rahul Kanal joins us, spokesperson of the Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena. Rahul, to you first. The biggest question, of course, does Eknath Shinde continue as chief minister, or are you reconciled that given this brute mandate, the BJP is likely to want their man as chief minister and you'll just have to play second fiddle to that?
Rahulji, firstly, this victory purely goes out to Maharashtra and our voters. And as a party worker, for sure, I would always like the captain to take the next innings ahead. And but it is purely with the Mahuayuti leadership to decide who takes the berth again.
Amitabh Tiwari, what's your sense? What are the pros and cons of continuing with Shinde or switching to someone like a Fadnavis?
See, it's a big mandate. So there is, of course, BJP now on its own winning 125 and Devendra Fadnavis.
132 now.
132 now. And Devendra Fadnavis and the entire BJP ecosystem, including RSS, has contributed to this victory. However, there are two questions now in front of BJP. Do you replace a sitting chief minister under whose leadership you fought the election and won 230 seats? Shinde, across many surveys we've seen, is fairly popular, and people see him as a common man who has risen up the ranks, just like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, from the position of an auto rickshawala to the top position of chief minister. Plus, he is a Maratha. Now we have seen that even in Marathwada, the BJP has reversed the trend and they have won many more seats than the Mahavikas Aghadi. So a Maratha plus a sitting chief minister who has a common man image and is fairly popular. So difficult to replace him. However, there will be pressure from the BJP workers to have their own chief minister because it has done fairly well. In fact, BJP plus others might be able to form the government even without the help of the other
and nothing
partners,
speaks
which are
more loudly
NCP, AP and
than political strength.
Shinde.
Pushpraj Deshpande, you know, the India alliance was 30 versus 17 in the Lok Sabha election. This is the most dramatic turnaround in fortunes. It's almost as if this was your election to win, and the BJP NDA has been able to pull victory from the jaws of defeat. And what a famous victory this is.
Hi Rahul, thank you for having me on your show. Today is genuinely bittersweet for the Congress. Even though we have won Jharkhand and some bypolls in Karnataka, Kerala and Rajasthan, we have lost Maharashtra. I mean, Congress could be 1-all when it comes to state polls. And I do congratulate the Mahuayuti government for their performance. But for me personally, because I was working in Maharashtra for the last 4 months, the sting is especially sharp. We accept all verdicts humbly, and where needed, we will go back to the drawing board and do a SWOT analysis. Obviously, the most obvious question everyone is asking is how we got it wrong in Maharashtra. But I genuinely feel that the ground was ripe for a change. I mean, just consider the fact that farm distress is high, municipal corporations are defunct, 27 of them. Women's security is an issue. Retail inflation in Maharashtra was at the highest in 14 months. And if you think about it, the Mahuayuti launched Ladki Behan Yojana in August 2024 only to combat economic distress. The point I'm trying to make is that we did read the ground right, but we lost the campaign. We failed to capitalize on the real socio-economic issues facing the people. And of course, we failed to effectively communicate our vision for the state. And I do feel personally that we excessively focused on issues that have had their day, namely the Gaddar and Jod-Tod politics that worked in Lok Sabha but didn't have traction today. Secondly, we cannot deny the fact that we were outspent by the BJP. BJP's cash transfers, whether direct, especially the Ladki Behan Yojana, which was facilitated by the Election Commission, which delayed polls so 3 tranches could be rolled out, or the BJP's alleged indirect caste transfers. You remember the BJP leaders
Zafar
in
Islam,
Bombay and
respond to
Nashik
this.
worked in
You know,
the leader.
Manikam Tagore, now Deshpande, many are alleging BJP ne paise ke dam pe jeet liya. There is money power, whether it's Ladli Behan or other money that was given to voters. That's how you won. How do you respond to this, Zafar Islam?
First of all, they must respond to the people what they had promised in Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, on what basis they had made those kind of promises even though they were not in power. We are in power. We exactly did what the responsibility was given by the people to when you are serving them as a government, in the government, then it is the responsibility of the government to do something or to come up with some welfare scheme to ensure that the benefits goes to the common man. Everything what we have done, like them, we have done the calculation, we made a budgetary provision. So it's not that freebies we are, the practice of freebies we are following. We have made announcement what was needed for the section of the society, and this is what we have delivered because that was something they were expecting. That was something
There's a ripple effect,
that is something
and it sets the expectations for other states. Zafar Islam,
but what is important?
You understand? Yes. No, but that's the point. This sets the expectations for other states as well. Everybody will expect the same now.
No, but see, Rahul, I also told you in the afternoon that the differentiating factor between us and them, that we are in the government, we are delivering welfare scheme. We didn't promise anything before coming to the power that we will come out with the Ladli Behan scheme or for that matter any other welfare scheme. We will not go to any election, even general election. We didn't make any announcement. We said no, we'll stay away from making such announcement unless we are in the government. Then we will come up with a scheme and we will ensure that we understand each and every pros and cons of making announcement and with how funds will be raised and how the budgetary provision will be made before making any such announcement. Having said that, the biggest vacuum in Mahavikas Aghadi was the leadership. We had a leader in the form of the Honorable Prime Minister, where all the 3 pillars, whether it's Fadnavis ji, whether it's Shinde ji, whether it's Ajit Pawar ji, was committed to the guidance of the Honorable Prime Minister. So we had a leader, his vision was something which was acceptable and being followed by all these pillars of Mahuayuti. Unlike them, every day they were fighting. And you said there's a Maharashtra Raut. Actually, Sanjay Raut is responsible for Maharashtra Raut for Mahavikas Aghadi because he is the one, he's a loudmouth, he has a verbal diarrhea. Every morning he will get up and with the few channels around him, he will make few false allegations, he will abuse Mahuayuti, he will say
Rahul Gandhi has tweeted, I just want to take our viewers through what he's saying.
People of Maharashtra have given a befitting reply.
का इंडिया को विशाल जनादेश देने के लिए दिल से धन्यवाद। मुख्यमंत्री हेमंत सोरेन जी, कांग्रेस और जेएमएम के सभी कार्यकर्ताओं को इस विजय के लिए हार्दिक बधाई और शुभकामना। प्रदेश में गठबंधन की यह जीत संविधान के साथ जल जंगल जमीन की रक्षा की जीत है। महाराष्ट्र के नतीजे अप्रत्याशित हैं और इसका हम विस्तार से विश्लेषण करेंगे। The results of Maharashtra are unprecedented and we will examine them deeply. प्रदेश के सभी मतदाता भाई बहनों को उनके समर्थन और सभी कार्यकर्ताओं को उनकी मेहनत के लिए धन्यवाद। The Congress at this moment seeming quite flabbergasted with what happened in Maharashtra. They thought it will be a tight fight. They were thinking there's a possibility the UT may be in front, Rajat, but this is the tsunami that Yogendra Yadav was talking about, except it didn't happen in Haryana, it happened in Maharashtra.
I think, I was just trying to understand what's the mood in Maharashtra. The opposition is shell-shocked. I mean, they're not speaking over phone. They don't know how to react. They don't know how to respond to how to ascribe the loss to, what reasons to ascribe it to, how to face your workers and your supporters, because, the leaders are right now faceless, and I think rightly so. If one were to introspect, and over the past 2-3 hours when we got a break, we were introspecting ourselves as to what really went wrong. I mean, if you take a step back and look at the entire campaign, you'll yourself realize that Uddhav Thackeray throughout the election was battling, very basic things, that why are you going against your core ideals of your father? And throughout the elections, he kept giving flimsy reasons, one after the other, to Rajdeep and to you, Rahul. There is no clear answer. He cannot look into Shiv Sena's own supporters and workers and his party's core voters, look eye to eye and say that what he is doing is actually core to his politics, his father's politics. And that lack of confidence reflects, because you lose confidence, because you know what you're doing is you're bluffing to make up some excuse so that the Aghadi somehow seems reasonable. The problem is that if you divorce away from your core ideals, you start experimenting, you will end up in trouble. But look at Yuti. I mean, we were consistently saying that BJP needs to ensure that there is ideological consistency, even at the cost of directly opposing people like Nawab Malik. BJP tried to ensure that there is no compromise on what it stands for. Agar batenge to katenge is what BJP stands for ideologically, no matter what the consequences are, no matter what NCP stays, goes, whomsoever they put up. This is what our core ideals are, and there will be no compromise on it. And this is what charges the base. And the BJP's base, which went quiet, they are anyway winning, why should the RSS and all these Swayamsevaks would have thought that why put in that extra bit of effort? I think what BJP successfully was doing through this election was really giving a reason to its ideological base that we mean business, we are serious about what we say and what we stand for, and no matter what consequences it may project, we will stand by those core ideals.
Seema Malik from the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP now joins us. Seema, are you concerned that what is left of the Pawar faction of the NCP may soon also be gone? In the way that this election has ended, it will be very difficult. You've got just about 10 MLAs left. It's very easy for them to go and say, okay, that's where the future lies. They all, bow to the rising sun, which in this case is Ajit Pawar.
See, Rahul, first of all, I would like to congratulate the BJP for their grand victory. And as you know, it was a bad day for us. We never expected something like this. And we fought the election wholeheartedly. We worked hard. And of course, we are a little depressed, but we have not lost hopes, Nirasha hai, par hatasha nahi hai. And it is very, it's very too soon that they will leave us and they will go there. Everybody is not like that, I'm telling you this thing. And we are also staying in our party and we will stay in our own party. So there are people who have got a loyalty and I think they will, so it's very...
Sheila Bhatt joins us. Sheila ji, do you think that NCP Pawar, Sharad Pawar and the UBT, what's left of it, will stick together, or do you think it's inevitable that the remaining MLAs will also leave?
No, I think a lot of churning will take place. And I doubt if Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray's elected MLA would not like to join the government. Because it seems what? It is obvious that this government is a stable government. And when the stable government is there, there are obvious reasons for joining it. And Prakash Ambedkar also 2 days back said that he would like to join.
But there's no need for him now.
Yes, but no, the thrust of the matter is that they all want, these days, it's a days of development, days of aspirations, days of living fast life for middle class people. Everybody wants to grow, everybody wants to earn money. At that time, who would like opposition politics, and that to be a weak opposition politics? So your question is that whether, and I consider this Maharashtra election result very differently in that sense that there are two national parties, Congress and BJP. They always wanted for decades to cut to size regional forces because they are nationalists. They think they don't understand broader issues. They are too regional, too local. They don't understand defense and other issues, security and strategic issues. So they take different stand. So from that point of view also, if you see Maharashtra result, it's very, it's understandable how...
Okay, Aishwarya Paliwal joins us. She's at the BJP headquarters. It's Happy New Year. Come early, Aishwarya. For the BJP, there were some jalebis in the morning. I hope you got your teeth into some of those. What's happening at the BJP headquarters? What time will the Prime Minister come and how is the party planning to celebrate, Aishwarya?
Well, Rahul, let me start by answering the question about Prime Minister. From what we are hoping in the next half an hour, Prime Minister Modi will be at the Bharatiya Janata Party headquarters. You are also speaking about the kind of support that we are seeing here, the supporters who have come. People are all decked up. Let me tell you, JP Nadda, Rahul, that's the BJP president who's coming, and the people who are ready here, all of them, this person who's decked up as Lord Hanuman, he's come here. He wants a glimpse of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he is hoping that he'll get a glimpse of the Prime Minister. Most of the supporters are now sitting in the front row. Prime Minister Modi's cutouts have been put out, and let me tell you, Maharashtra and Jharkhand, that's the big banner that has been put out. All the people now are hoping that they'll get a glimpse of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. JP Nadda, the BJP president, has reached the visuals that we are showing you. This is of JP Nadda. The BJP president has reached the BJP headquarters, and now in the next half an hour we'll see Prime Minister also coming here. The supporters now waiting to hear what the Prime Minister has to say and to catch a glimpse of Prime Minister Modi.
Okay, Yogendra Yadav joins us. That's JP Nadda being welcomed by the BJP leaders. This is also where his term ends, Rajat. As the BJP president, what a glorious, historic way to end his term. It's an important position in his political career, and he is going out on a high.
This is what I was mentioning. I think, he was tasked towards, the last part of his illustrious campaign as the party's president. He was tasked with 4 virtually impossible tasks of winning Haryana, Jammu Kashmir, Maharashtra and Jharkhand. He was, pitted up against a lot of odds. And what a complete turnaround that BJP has showcased, and discipline that the BJP has showcased under the leadership of JP Nadda over the past 4 months or so. They have not just won Haryana, they have ensured that, in Jammu and Kashmir, they've registered a significant presence. Now they have a thumping majority here. Jharkhand still, needs to be sort of unpacked for the BJP. Babulal Marandi continues to be unlucky that way, that he's not able to...
No, but many of these people are Delhi BJP. I don't want to take names, but when he's telling them, "Bhai, unhone run bana diya, ab tumhari bari hai, tum mat kuda karna." I think that's really the messaging that, boss, now you're really Sheila, but that's the Kamzor Kadi, the Delhi BJP unit. And how do you kind of get this Lagan 11 to go out and then take on Kejriwal? Because if after winning under these odds against the Mahavikas Aghadi in Maharashtra, then the Delhi BJP really needs to buck up.
But now, after Maharashtra, all other states are very difficult for BJP, and no smooth
Like which one? Delhi and Bihar also?
Delhi, Bihar, UP.
Today we've seen that they are winning all the 4 seats in Bihar by polls. There is a new player which is spoiling the chances of RJD-led alliance. So there is a new player which is there to catch the anti-incumbency votes, and that is leading to a split of votes. That's also happening. In Delhi, BJP already has 170. So they have a good chance to try to
after
defeat
euphoria of
Kejriwal.
Maharashtra settles down, I think there will be many more reasons to understand this result better. Like, already NCP was a tired party. Sharad Pawar is 83. Already Uddhav Thackeray had lost the grip of the party. A lot of other things were there. All circumstances came together to give BJP such a big result.
No, that
so
is
it is
true.
not just BJP or just not Nadda's leadership or anything like that.
No, but I'm not saying it is because of his leadership. I'm saying that he wanted to end it on a high, and he was able to do that because, look at the odds that were going against him on all these 4 states. And I think under his leadership, and largely speaking, a credit has to go to him also to some extent.
No, the captain gets the credit, run kisi ne bhi banaya ho. So it's, and also from Nadda ji's perspective, this is where his innings as party president ends, and it ends on a glorious high. 240 was a bit of a hit. It happened on his watch as captain of the team. Now he can say, I won you Maharashtra and did this in style. Well, I'm joined now by one of the country's foremost political analysts, Yogendra Yadav, who famously or infamously, depending on which side of the political prism you were on, was looking for a tsunami in Haryana. There wasn't a tsunami in Haryana. There was one in Maharashtra though. And yet, like in Haryana where nobody could quite predict the result, in Maharashtra though, the extent of this tsunami couldn't be predicted. Dr. Yadav, welcome. What do you make of this historic victory for the Mahuayuti in Maharashtra?
Thanks, Rahul. Before your viewers complain, let me state very clearly that I'm no longer a political analyst. I'm a political activist. I'm very much involved with Bharat Jodo Abhiyan, which had supported the MBA in Maharashtra and supported the India coalition in Jharkhand. So I don't claim to be one. And just for your record, I had made no formal forecast for Haryana, and I had repeatedly said so before the election. I'm not making a forecast. But the journalists like you coax me, "Arey kuch to boliye," and I said, "Sadak pe har koi ye kehta hai ki Congress ki aandhi hai." And of course, then you start questioning, when did your forecast go wrong? So let's forget all that. On Maharashtra specifically, I think Maharashtra is a very major setback for India coalition, for Congress, for all of us who believe in the vision of a democratic republic India. It's a very big setback, much bigger than Haryana. Haryana has been more than offset by Jharkhand, but Maharashtra stands out. I must say that I was not surprised by the victory of the BJP coalition. I am surprised, though, by the staggering margin of something like 15% when I noticed it last. That's almost spooky. But the fact is that after the Lok Sabha election in Maharashtra, which appeared to be a major victory for India coalition, actually the gap was only 1%. I do not think it is a victory. It is necessarily a shift of major public opinion, but it is a very significant change of political tactics. The BJP and allies started working from day one. They had a game plan. The opposition, that is to say the MBA, was rather complacent, had no game plan. And in a situation of this kind, when you have when one side is up with very systematic plan, this is like the old Australian cricket team versus the old Indian cricket team. That is the kind of difference you had. The Mahuayuti had 4 parts of the game plan that it had. One was liberal use of state resources. They used something like 1 lakh crore rupees in the last 2 months. Number 2 was social strategy, that is to pit OBC against the Marathas and to bring in the Mahadalits against the upper aspect of the Dalits. The third component was to fragment the elections with the help of large number of candidates, dummy parties and everything. And fifth was the batenge katenge tax committee. Sorry.
No, I hear you well. Please go on. We're picking up some ambient noise from the BJP headquarters, but you can go on. But if it was 30-17 in the Lok Sabha elections, the question is, how did the Maha Vikas Aghadi botch up their chances so badly? How did they manage to pull such a big defeat from the jaws of victory?
That's a very good question. And I think everyone, including people like me who have supported them, should ask this question very frankly in a straight way. To my mind, Maha Vikas Aghadi had no game plan. They had no plan to counter any of the 4 things that I mentioned. In my own assessment, the batenge katenge communal rhetoric was not so central to their victory. It did not quite work here, nor did it work very much in Jharkhand. But the other 3 bits worked very well. The use of state resources for the Ladli Behna scheme, Ladki Behna scheme in Maharashtra, the social coalition strategy, and the political fragmentation strategy. And on top of these 3, there is undeniably BJP RSS organizational strength with its capacity to micromanage. The MBA had no response to each of these. The minor thing that they did was that, all right, on the Maratha question, they prevented the fragmentation of Maratha voters by managing Manoj Jagre. But that's a very small thing. What is your response to the OBC issue? There was none. And instead of thinking about how to defeat the BJP, most of the MBA leadership was involved in trying to think about who would become the chief minister as and when the MBA wins, which was remote. So this is clearly a defeat that they should.
But there's another point as well. The fact that Rahul Gandhi had one trick that worked for him, which was the Samvidhan Khatre Mein Hai, bogey which he had, and he kept waiving the constitution in an assembly election. That also potentially didn't click. They tried the whole Gujarat versus Maharashtra tactic, that didn't work. They tried the whole Dharavi, Adani tactic, that didn't work, Sheila Bhatt. And they waived the constitution in an assembly context. We were like, I don't think this is what this is about. So voters have more finessing than Rahul Gandhi seems to appreciate.
Yeah, because I think people don't want to live in illusion. They think even if some government we have some problem with them and their leaders, even if they seem to be delivering something, then they will go for it. I think direct bank transfer is a event which has changed the game of politics. DBT.
But I also think this entire Adani issue, I mean, people see through it because on one side you have Revanth Reddy, who is non-stop giving Adani and calling for Adani investment. In fact, the government of Telangana donated 100 crore rupees to Adani's foundation. So on one side you are doing all this, I mean, Gehlot and Bhupesh Baghel, attracting investments from Adani. And here you have one leader out of the blue, he wants to completely put all the blame against Adani. It doesn't work like that.
Of Bofors, because what all Rajiv Gandhi suffered. So he thought that he is doing Bofors on NDA, but he forgets that this man is an Indian-born man. Bofors is a foreign company.
See, Rahul Gandhi is not speaking in the language of the disgruntled voter, as you mentioned. The disgruntled voter had issues of inflation, agriculture, farmer suicides. He's speaking about Adani, saying ek hai to safe hai, caste census.
No, this status of privilege. So Rahul, listen to what Uddhav Thackeray says. He says, cannot believe Maharashtra will behave with me this way. What kind of an attitude is this? वो बपौती है क्या आपकी? कि आपके हिसाब से वो काम करेगी? See, this is, they take the entire people as if they are their slaves and they have to respond to the masters according to their likings. Rahul, this doesn't work like that.
Yeah. To be fair to Congress and Rahul Gandhi both, I don't think he should not have taken up the Adani issue or any such issue which we think is not working. But any political party and a leader should pick up the issue, take it to the logical conclusion, and that is what convert it into votes. If you are not able to do that, then don't make it an election plan. It cannot be your primary election plan. So, like Bofors, VP Singh,
we have Pushkar Deshpande, who's been part of Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra, written a book on it as well. So here's the thing, you're waiving the constitution, which ultimately just turns out to be a notepad, not even the real constitution. And then you're saying Samvidhan Khatre mein in an assembly context. I mean, I think the voters have seen through everything that was attempted, and the MV is at 49. The Congress just at 16. The Congress is lesser than the UBT. I mean, politically, it can't get more embarrassing than this.
Rahul, the constitution that Rahul Gandhi waived was an actual constitution. What you're referring to is a diary that was passed around. That's a different thing. See, Rahul Gandhi is a national leader, and he does need to raise both state level and national level issues, talking about the caste census, Samvidhan, the impact of the Adani indictment on India's economy, the Manipur issue, among others, may not directly impact Maharashtra. But such
let me put that question to Yogendra Yadav. You're saying he needs to raise national issues, but Yogendra Yadav, the fact is that Samvidhan Khatre mein hai connected with voters in the Lok Sabha context. It seemed to me from the outside that because that's a trick that worked for him, he thought, I can do it again. But a political check, as you know well, can be encashed only once you've encashed that check. He tried to encash the same check at another bank, an assembly bank this time, and that bank and its tellers rejected it, saying, ye yahan nahi chalega. That was a Lok Sabha plank.
Thanks, Rahul. I'm sorry. I'm in remote rural Gujarat and the electricity went off. And I'm getting too much of a PC sound, so can you request them not to speak? To my mind, Lok Sabha election was a great victory for the Constitution. However, ordinary people did not vote on the issue of ordinary people did not vote directly on democracy, secularism. Ordinary people spoke on the issues of their own day-to-day problems. And that is what the opposition needed to focus on. I'm sorry, I'm just getting too much of your PC sound. Can you request them to disconnect from that? I can't hear you.
Okay, I hope it's fixed now. Is it fixed now? Is it okay?
I think I'm getting all your PCR talks. My apologies.
Okay, I'm going to give it a second. Keep speaking in the hope that this gets fixed. Is it fixed now? Okay, give us a moment as we try and set that right. We'll come back in just a moment. But Amitabh Tiwari, this idea that as a national leader, that Deshpande makes, he has to speak about national issues, but he has to speak about issues that the voters there want. For example, if he'd spoken about kharche pe charcha, cotton, soybean, take up issues that matter to people, then you're speaking their language.
Yes, so unemployment, price rise, agriculture distress, these are all national issues which he did not speak on. Adani, Ambani, constitution khatre mein hai, caste census pitch, all these issues might resonate with the national audience or might get him some headlines, but that is clearly not clicking with the rural audience or the audience in Maharashtra.
That's the problem. No, but Deshpande, here's the thing. You know, he tried that Rafale fighter aircraft charge. It didn't click. He tried the Dharavi charge. Even in that area, look at Mumbai. I mean, it's the Mahuayuti that is won. So he keeps firing these blanks. They don't connect. And yet he thinks he's on the right track. He's convinced he's on the right track.
No, so what I was trying to make, the point I was trying to make is that every national leader experiments when raising national issues. We never know what will catch the public's imagination. We all do that. The fact of the matter is that should have been coupled with local issues. You're perfectly right. We didn't get our campaign right. We could have countered this polarizing meta-narrative that the Mahuayuti spearheaded by focusing on local issues that sway elections substantively, you know. The retail inflation is very high, farmers' suicide is very high, women security is a problem. We could have been much more, municipal issues are a major problem here. I know for a fact that sewage, bad roads, petty corruption have increased. We need to focus on that, and I think that will become, when we go back to the drawing board, that will be one key takeaway that we will focus on when we go into the
you're saying netas need to experiment. I mean, a question also asked is, how long do you keep experimenting before you finally crack the experiment? Yogendra Yadav ji, the fact that Rahul Gandhi is speaking about the constitution, I mean, for example, if he'd been speaking about kharche pe charcha, cotton, soybean, farmer issues, agrarian distress, I mean, there was anti-incumbency to be tapped into, and yet the leader of the opposition is not able to do it, and the Congress leader is calling this an experiment, saying he needs to experiment, try till you succeed, throw a few darts, maybe one hits.
Well, that may be Congress's view. That's not my view. My impression is that I would not credit Rahul Gandhi with the success of the India coalition in Jharkhand, nor would I think Rahul Gandhi is principally to be blamed for the failure in Maharashtra. It is the job of national leaders to raise national issues, and it is the issues, and for local leaders to raise local issues. To my mind, what has gone wrong is principally not what the national leaders said. This is true of Congress. This is also true of the BJP. I don't think BJP national leadership has done something dramatically wrong to get Jharkhand to lose Jharkhand. To my mind, principally it was a state election. More than a state election, this became a local election. And BJP's great success in Maharashtra was actually to turn it hyper local. What it did was that it thought of how this government was formed, the fraudulent manner in which the government was formed, was actually not an election issue. The MVA failed to turn it into an election issue, and the BJP successfully managed to erase it. That is where the election was won.
So look at how things have changed. Earlier it was said BJP wins when it's a national election. That's Amit Shah. Look at the roar of applause that he gets as he comes in. He's delighted. This is a big victory for the BJP. He's the man in Marathwada and Vidarbha. We've been going constantly, going more to Marathwada and Vidarbha than he was to Mumbai, spending time there, now delighted. But the fact is that they micromanaged this election, and the MVA seemed to have been so certain that they were winning that they didn't make the effort required to win, Yogendra Yadav.
On that, you're absolutely right. I think the MVA leadership did not simply focus on, they did not actually get their act together. Where was the MVA manifesto? They had some 5 declarations, but there was no common manifesto. Where was the one face? To my mind, they could have actually actually projected Uddhav Thackeray. That may not have been the bad strategy, but they did not. But they were anxious about each other. Where was the collaborative, a common strategy? There was none. That is, Shah will get credit. I'm sure neither you nor the BJP workers will blame Mr. Amit Shah for what happened in Jharkhand, where the Bangladeshi, the completely fake issue of Bangladeshi Ghuspaitias was raised again and again, obviously with his Ashirwad. But then, victory has, at a moment like this, people don't remember that. To my mind, now that we are doing analysis and we are not doing any BJP or Congress publicity, the fact is that national leadership on both sides was relatively inconspicuous in this election. Mr. Modi was not a very active campaigner. From both sides, national leadership was inconspicuous. But in the last instance, BJP-led national leadership will get credit for Maharashtra victory. In the last instance, BJP leadership should get the blame for Jharkhand defeat, where they had actually won the Lok Sabha election and lost in the assembly election. Similarly, in the last instance, India coalition leadership, but specifically Congress, should get the responsibility. National leadership, they should take the responsibility, because when they saw that MVA in Maharashtra was unable to get its act together, it was their duty, it was their responsibility to step in and say, don't fight, don't do all these small things, don't be so complacent, you can actually lose. They did not do that.
Yogendra ji, the next big battle in Indian politics is the battle in Delhi. That's a party which you know well, the Aam Aadmi Party, you've been a part of it. The BJP is now out of power for a very long time. And the 10 years of anti-incumbency against Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party, at this moment, how do you weigh the Delhi election?
Rahul, I will not commit the same mistake, because if I say a word, 2 months later, you would say, you made a forecast, you were funded.
No, I'm not asking for a forecast, I'm asking for your analysis.
My analysis, as I had said earlier to Rahul, is that the real big election is Bihar. If Aam Aadmi Party wins in Delhi, that's unlikely to change the overall mood of the nation. And if they lose Delhi and BJP wins, that's unlikely to change the overall mood of the nation. Or
Okay, he's in a rural part of Gujarat. Remember, Rahul Gandhi said we'll win Gujarat in 2017. He was, of course, at that time straight off the bat of the 2024 verdict, and I think they were getting carried away. So instead of trying to focus on Haryana, Maharashtra, they already hata dunga, phek dunga, ukhad dunga. So just stay focused. Play one ball at a time, stay focused. Just because you've reached 50 doesn't mean you'll reach 300. So I think that's the lesson there for those who are getting carried away. We'll slip into a break. The Prime Minister will be at the BJP headquarters soon. There'll be a big victory parade, a big celebration, a massive, unprecedented victory for the Mahuayuti and the BJP in Maharashtra, and a big victory for the India Alliance in Jharkhand. We're tracking all of that when we come back on the other side of a quick break series.
Hey Google, how do I do a wing liner? AI Re. Flip the script with the new Motorola Razr 50 series.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sena, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Big blow to MVA in Maharashtra as Mahuayuti crosses majority mark. Jharkhand Assembly election results declared, Hemant Soren set to form government again. Supreme Court issues notice to CBI and ED on Manish Sisodia's bail relaxation plea in Delhi excise policy case.
Hey Google, how do I do a wing liner? AI Re. Flip the script with the new Motorola Razr 50 series.
Hello, Moto.
Presented by Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat. Co-presented by आपका जॉय भारत का जॉय ई-बाइक, महिंद्रा इलेक्ट्रिक ओरिजिन SUVs.
Watching our live and continuing coverage of the Maharashtra and Jharkhand results. Lots of the key newsmakers joining us. A big celebration planned at the BJP headquarters this evening. We'll be going across live and the Prime Minister comes there. We're getting these live images of the build-up in the meanwhile. Let me take you through the headlines. I'm tracking at 7. It's a Mahuayuti tsunami in Maharashtra. BJP secures its third consecutive victory in the state. Sena gets more seats than Maha Vikas Aghadi combined. Ajit Pawar redeems himself with NCP's performance. PM Modi hails the Mahuayuti victory, says development and good governance is one. PM declares united, we will soar higher. He also congratulates Hemant Soren on his Jharkhand victory. Race for the Chief Minister's post in Maharashtra intensifies. Who will it be, Eknath Shinde or Devendra Fadnavis? Ajit Pawar's wife says the NCP Neta should be made CM. After poll rout, Maha Vikas Aghadi cries EVM conspiracy. Aditya Thackeray says it needs to be investigated if people or EVMs gave the verdict. Sanjay Raut says the results are unbelievable. JMM-led India Alliance wins Jharkhand. Hemant Soren set to return as CM, thanks his wife and star campaigner Kalpana Soren for the victory. BJP Alliance wins 7 out of 9 seats in the Uttar Pradesh bypolls. UP CM Yogi Adityanath credits PM Modi for the victory, says "Ek rahenge to safe rahenge" message resonated with voters. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra makes a smashing debut as Lok Sabha MP, wins Wayanad by over 4 lakh votes. Priyanka thanks her brother Rahul for his support. For the first time, an alliance has crossed 200 seats in Maharashtra. It's also the biggest victory for a pre-poll coalition in Maharashtra since 1972. And the worst ever performance for the Sena, UBT, NCP of Sharad Pawar and for the Congress. Take a look at what happened through the day-to-day.
Historic landslide for the Mahuayuti in Maharashtra. The BJP-led alliance scripting a never-before poll super smash with a brute majority, leaving the Maha Vikas Aghadi far, far behind.
महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने जो अप्रत्याशित इस प्रकार की जीत हमको दी है, महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाज के सभी लोगों ने एकता दिखाते हुए महाराष्ट्र में मतदान किया है। मैं विशेष रूप से हमारी लाडली बहनों का, लाडले भाइयों का, लाडले किसानों का, सभी का बहुत आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं।
लाडकी बहीण असेल, लाडका भाऊ असेल,
लाडका शेतकरी असेल महायुतीवर प्रेम दाखवलं आणि त्यामुळे मी सगळ्या मतदारांना मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो आणि त्यांना एवढ्या मोठ्या ऐतिहासिक विजयासाठी साष्टांग दंडवत घातला पाहिजे.
The Mahuayuti is riding high on its flagship pro-women scheme, Ladki Bahin and SOPs for farmers. Equally helped by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's "Ek hai to safe hai" war cry.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक जो नारा दिया था, एक है तो सेफ है, सब समाज को साथ में लाने वाली जो बात प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कही थी, महाराष्ट्र के लोगों ने उसको रिस्पॉन्ड किया है और महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाजों ने एक साथ मिलकर एक बड़ा मैंडेट हमको दिया है.
The BJP's stellar show apart, it was the high strike rate of allies, CM Shinde's Shiv Sena and Ajit Pawar's NCP, which led to the never-before-seen tally for Mahuayuti. While Shinde beat Uddhav in Sena legacy battle, Ajit Pawar eclipsed patriarch Sharad Pawar.
This has been a great moment for us and for the entire Mahuayuti. Everybody worked together and our schemes were so beneficial for the people, and especially women voters came out in large numbers. So we are very happy, of course, and I think this has been one of the most spectacular victories in the history of Maharashtra.
Massive celebrations erupted outside Devendra Fadnavis, Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar's homes. This mandate is historic because this is the first time an alliance has won over 200 out of 288 seats. BJP with 85% strike rate secured more than double the seats compared to Agadi alliance put together, making it the biggest win for a pre-poll coalition since 1972. With a little about 10% strike rate, it was worst ever performance by Sharad Pawar. The Congress also singed the alliance it led with a drastically low strike rate. With a super massive mandate, it's the Mahuayuti tsunami in Maharashtra. Bureau Report, India Today.
The man of the moment for the BJP is Devendra Fadnavis. After the Lok Sabha elections, he declared that the party will return much stronger, and he's now delivered on that promise, calling himself the modern-day Abhimanyu, who's fought his way out of the trap the enemies had laid.
महाराष्ट्र में चूंकि एक प्रकार से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सारी जिम्मेदारी महाराष्ट्र में एक लीडर के रूप में मेरे ऊपर थी, तो ये जो हमारा महाराष्ट्र में डिबैकल हुआ है या जो हमें एक प्रकार से हार मिली है, हमारी सीटें कम हुई है, इसकी पूरी जिम्मेदारी ये मेरी है. मैं इस जिम्मेदारी को स्वीकारता हूं. मैं भागने वाला आदमी तो हूं नहीं और जोरों से मैदान में उतरूंगा. मैं आधुनिक अभिमन्यु हूं, चक्रव्यूह को भेदना जानता हूं. हमने चक्रव्यूह को भेदा है. इस विजय में मेरा बहुत छोटा उसमें मैं समझता हूं कि सहभाग है. एक ये हमारी जो पूरी टीम है, इस टीम ने इस विजय को लाया है. हम सब लोग एक साथ रहे, एक साथ मिलकर हमने ये काम किया. इसलिए मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि इस एकता का ये विजय है. जो हमारी महायुति थी, अभेद्य इस प्रकार की महायुति थी, महायुति का ये विजय है, ऐसा मैं मानता हूं.
Shaina NC joins us from the Eknath Shinde Sena. Do I call you BJP or you just fought? How do I explain this? She fought on the Shinde Sena ticket, is actually from the BJP. So I'm a bit confused. It's complicated now. Amita Dubey joins us from the research team of the Congress. We got an NCP Sharad Pawar leader with us in the studio who's now wearing pink. And I'm kind of confused with you as well. Have you joined Ajit Pawar already? Why are you wearing pink?
No, always Pawar Sahib. You have to say that pink is not limited to one leader. We have to all start
I thought maybe
pink.
on the way you did some deal. You did some deal.
No deals.
But with just 10 MLAs, for all you know, whatever you have, may join the Eknath, may join the Ajit Pawar faction. Yes, Shaina, welcome. Congrats. You fought a hard battle. We saw some images of kind of effort and hard work you made. Congratulations on the alliance's victory. So how does one describe you, BJP Neta or Sena candidate?
First, it was the Mahuayuti leadership that gave me this opportunity, and I'd like to thank Eknath Shinde ji for choosing a Ladki Behen for the toughest constituency in Maharashtra. Mumbai Devi, as you know, is a hardcore Muslim bastion, 140,000 people and 1 lakh Hindus. And the kind of polarizing one saw, it only makes you realize, and sadly so, that you have two options. One is to vote on the basis of calm or to vote on the basis of calm. And unfortunately, I think calm is what the opposition set as a narrative, and that is where that comes from. But having said that, it's like moving, Rahul, from one home to another. And when you have a joint family and you move from one household to another, obviously the ideology continues to stay the same. There's no question of compromising with your values. And obviously the interest of Maharashtra is most important at this particular time, not just now, but in the days to come too. And the
So
only thing which seems to have worked in this tsunami historic
a BJP
battle.
leader. Who will be the next chief minister? Will it be Eknath Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis, or somebody else? What's your take on it, China?
I knew you would ask me this, and let me please say, as a disciplined cadre of the Mahuayuti, it is for the Mahuayuti leadership to take a decision on who would be. But having said that, Eknath Shinde is a mass leader, Devendra ji is extremely well-rooted with experience, and Ajit Pawar has administrative skill. So it is for the leadership to decide what is the future course. I only would like to say that the interest of Maharashtra is most important, and that's all we all have as a common agenda.
Okay, Amitabh Dubey is with us. I've got two tweets of Rahul Gandhi. I'll show them to you and play them back to back. Tweet number 1, Rahul Gandhi, हमें हरियाणा के अप्रत्याशित नतीजे का विश्लेषण कर रहे हैं. We are analyzing the unprecedented results of Haryana. That was on the 8th of October. Cut to the 23rd of November. He says महाराष्ट्र के नतीजे अप्रत्याशित हैं और इनका हम विस्तार से विश्लेषण करेंगे. You know, he's been doing this विश्लेषण for the last month, and in that time the BJP has pulled the rug from underneath his feet.
So today is obviously a mixed day for us. The India Alliance had a very strong performance in Jharkhand, which we see as an approval of the policies of the government there for the last 5 years. We did pretty well in a number of by-elections in Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, and of course, Srimati Priyanka Gandhi won very decisively in Wayanad, as expected, but it's good to see. Maharashtra is a story that is of great concern to us. Now, don't get me wrong, victory and defeat happens in politics. The Congress party has seen many victories, it has seen many defeats. But in Haryana, we had some very serious questions about the EVMs and the counting, which we brought to the attention of the Election Commission, you will recall. And the Election Commission responded in a very aggressive and a manner that was not really appropriate for a constitutional body that is supposed to look out for the entire democratic system, not only for the ruling party. Now, we have to take this very seriously. So, within weeks, we don't have all the answers. We have begun a process. We've approached the Election Commission, as you know. Now what we see is another election defeat, where, like I said, it's not the fact of defeat that is bothering us. The BJP has gone from just 6 months ago, the BJP won 9 out of 28 seats in the Lok Sabha, and now it has won a record 133 out of 148. The Ajit Pawar NCP won 1 out of 4 Lok Sabha seats just less than 6 months ago.
You're
and now
quoting
has
the
won
data
41
back to
out of
me.
59.
I'm trying to understand.
We see this as a very surprising and unexpected.
Amitabh, you're smarter than this. You're trying to draw an equivalence between Jharkhand and Maharashtra. Maharashtra is the prize, the political prize. Jharkhand is, of course, important. There is no equivalence. There is no comparison. You were 30 versus 17 in Maharashtra. This was your election to win. There was anti-incumbency. There was agrarian distress. Your man was speaking about the constitution. He was speaking about Dalit reservation. Instead of talking about kharche pe charcha, talking about cotton and soybean prices, it was almost as if you were picking up issues which didn't resonate with the voters of Maharashtra. I mean, this is the reality.
I have to disagree with that characterization. I've heard this in the media a lot today. But the fact is that our guarantees, Mahalakshmi, were aimed at women. We had a farm loan waiver, which obviously resonates in Vidarbha, or would have we had planned to resonate in without, because that's an issue that's very important there. Caste census affects people even in the state. We've done caste censuses in our states. Health for all, 25 lakh, insurance, unemployment allowance. These are all issues relevant to a state election. It's not fair to say that we were only carrying on the issues from the national election. Those issues are important, but we were addressing a lot of the concerns of the state. What we have, our concerns are to do with what some people have been calling, a ground level manipulation, where the deletion of vulnerable sections from the voting lists, whether it's tribals, minorities,
Come
Dalits,
on, Amitabh.
whether it is
233 versus 49. Even if I for a moment take that some tactical adjustments may have been made, you don't get this kind of a verdict by knocking a few names off the electoral list. This is a tsunami. It was building up in Maharashtra. You were so blinded by confidence that you couldn't see what was going to come and hit you in the face. That's really what happened. Now you're trying to find some fault with electoral rolls or EVMs.
No, we are not doing it now. We were doing it throughout the campaign. We went to the Election Commission. For the last month, we've been raising these very issues. And of course, the Election Commission doesn't do sunwai nahi hoti, as they say. They have a very arrogant attitude about this. They don't listen to us. They don't treat it with the seriousness it is due. And so we have many questions and concerns about this election, which we have raised, which we mentioned in our press conference today, and we will continue to bring to the relevant authorities.
Anish Gawande, do you think you're in the wrong NCP? Are you wishing this evening that you were on the other side?
Not at all. I think definitely in the right NCP, and one defeat does not a party make. And similarly, a single
But this
victory.
one defeat could a party break?
No, I don't think so. I think when the party broke off...
You're also wearing pink.
I'm also wearing pink. But when the party broke off, I think there was a similar moment.
There's messaging in the pink, whether
There's
you agree
no
with
messaging
it.
in the pink. I really should have chosen a better wardrobe today. But...
No, you're reaching... it's like it's from a wannabe neta, advertisement to Ajit Tada. Please take me, I'm available, I'm ready.
Not at all.
Waiting for one call.
I'm congratulating everyone on the Mahuayuti side. We're not sore losers. I think they've fought well and they've won well.
Why did you get hammered?
And I think for two reasons. I think, for one, we did not manage to get all of our promises to the people. I think there's a reality that the Mahalakshmi Yojana did not reach people in time.
Why not?
Unfortunately, because it was announced late perhaps. Maybe there was also the fact that every single evening, Rahul, we were being bombarded with some ulema letter or the other, some new controversy around religion in an attempt by no less than the senior leadership of the ruling party to create this election into a Hindu-Muslim election. And we failed to counter that, right? And I think in many ways that became the dominant narrative in the 1 week before the election.
Yes, Rajan.
See, if an ulema is issuing fatwas after fatwas, and you are saying that, I should have dealt with those fatwas later on. I mean, half of the party would have actually wanted those fatwas to come out. My problem is the first one that you said. Typically, we have seen that the Congress party is fairly good in terms of literally, doling out promises and ensuring those promises reach every household. My problem is 1 week before the election, you actually formally came out. 3 days before, you were saying the soybean price, support price that you're going to give of 7,000 rupees, just 3 days before. How on earth are you expecting that?
No, but also that big press conference happens, Amitabh, on the day Donald Trump wins in the United States in the evening. I mean, there's some basic election management 101. Donald Trump is winning. You want to get your message to the voters. The day after you do your press conference, finally the BJP has already booked out all the front pages of the newspapers. I mean, they were running circles around you.
See, I do obviously disagree with that, because what we saw in the general election is we were running circles around them. Now, it doesn't happen that overnight suddenly they have become geniuses and we have become naive at politics. There's much deeper things going on which we have brought to people's attention. There's
what are these deeper things you're talking about?
Announced on the 6th of November, which is not last minute at all. There's enough time for them to be distributed and people to know about them. So I think it's very easy to jump on the loser in an election and say you did this wrong, did that wrong. We have to be fair and balanced. And we've also brought some concerns forth, which I think should be given a fair hearing. Vinod Thackeray was caught distributing cash. All sorts of things were happening in this election, which aren't just, a good strategy, but there were some very dubious means used.
Shaina NC, Manickam Tagore said this. Amitabh Dubey is saying this. Lots of Congress leaders think that you all gave money and that's how you won. Ki paise ke dam pe jeet gaye.
I want to make just one point. Yes. There have been lots of allegations through this election. And if we even look at narratives, I have to make this point, so I want to make it right now. That, every morning you had a Sanjay Raut coming out with a comment, you had a Nana Patole coming with a counter comment, the kind of language that was used, whether it was item, mal, bakri, kutta, that was the level to which they stooped. So people were fed up of listening to this kind of repartee. And in fact, they voted for us in large numbers based on the development work which the Mahuayuti has done in 2.5 years. And it's imperative for your viewers to know this, because when people see this kind of a historic tsunami, it's also out of disgust of the other side that seems so desperate to just want the seat of power. If you look at what Nana Patole said, he said that, the Congress is not going to accept a Shiv Sena CM. Shiv Sena, Ubata Sena was of the opinion that they would be in a position to even contend, which was like saying you're, having a dream or a nightmare both combined, because you're not even going to get the numbers. But if you see ideologically also, when has Congress ever said Hindu Hriday Samrat Adarniya Balasaheb Thackeray? Not even once. When has the Shiv Sena talked about its own vote bank? It has Ubata Sena. It has only resorted to Muslims and Dalits as a vote bank. So this kind of pseudo-secular
you know the Thackeray family well, Shaina. Will the UBT last as a political entity, or do you think these 20 MLAs that they won may end up coming and joining Eknath Shinde as well?
Let me please say that the Ubata Sena is done and dusted. Let me please say that the Ubata Sena is done and dusted. They don't have any option here on, because they have lost their core voter who has been so disappointed with them, leaving their ideology only for lust for power. Can you imagine if Adarniya Hindu Hriday Samrat Adarniya Balasaheb Thackeray was around? If he was alive, if he even knew that the Ubata and the Congress were together. But I don't want to get into their commentary, because every morning Sanjay Raut does enough service or disservice to them. I just want to speak about our agenda, which is development, development, development.
Okay, development is the agenda, and after this kind of a big, you still didn't answer the question. Are you a Shinde Sena leader or a BJP leader? You danced around that question, Shaina. I didn't answer it straight.
Shinde Sena.
So BJP chhod di?
I answer that the Shinde Sena is here to stay.
Okay, let's not put her on the spot. It's a tough question to ask. And it's a tough question to ask. It's an easy question to ask, but it's a tough question to answer. So she's saying she's now in the Shinde Sena officially, and she got, and it did well for Milind Deora, who will be joining us in just a couple of minutes for him from now, and hopefully it will do well for Shaina NC as well. So thank you very much, Shaina, for joining us. Rohan Gupta now joins us from the BJP. Rohan bhai, this is a massive victory. Would you accept that this is probably bigger than what the BJP was expecting? Oh, he's joining us from the headquarters. So there's lots of shor sharaba, I'm sure, happening around you.
Well, in the morning, when Rajiv had asked me my number, I told 200 plus. So obviously I'm not a cephalogist, but from ground reality, after seeing 22 elections, at least I could feel the pulse of the ground. And even 2 days back, I was in debate with you. I was telling that opposition is totally against, there was no narrative with them. They completely lack narrative as far as national narrative or local narrative. And I think this is the result of that, but nobody would have accepted this kind of landslide victory, where you have 234. This is a historic victory in the state of Maharashtra, and clear-cut mandate in favor of Mahuayuti. It is a clear-cut mandate in favor of people, and message by people is very clear. You have to work for us, irrespective of caste, religion, anything. We want government to work for us, number one. We don't want divisive politics, number two. And in case you are promising something, you have to show us in different states that you are capable of fulfilling that. So I think all these three narratives put together, this is the result of this landslide victory. And I think congratulations to Modi's leadership and each and every BJP worker, Mahuayuti
no, so if you're so rara,
was possible.
Okay, I want to go across now to Rajya Sabha MP Milind Deora, who gave the Thackerays the fright of their life by fighting right till the very end. He lost in the end, But what a fight this was. I mean, I asked earlier if you were Bali ka Bakra, far from. You almost turned out to be the giant slayer at the end of a long and bruising day. Milind bhai, your reflections on what could have been?
Thank you. I'd like to go beyond the terms of Balika Bakra and Giant Slayer. I think there's more to politics and elections than that. The truth is, as I said to you earlier, there was a lot of anti-incumbency locally, and I took on, I would say, the entire might of the UBT party, which still is formidable in certain parts of Mumbai. They won 3 seats in South Mumbai itself. And the entire might of the party, when I say the entire might, Worli, mind you, I was taking on a former CM, a former minister in the government of Maharashtra, a former union minister. The local MP is theirs. The local MLAs, of course, Aditya. 2 MLCs from Worli who are both former MLAs of Worli, 3 former mayors. And MNS who was busy cutting our votes. And for us to have brought it down to 8,000 votes, in my opinion, I'm proud of the way we ran the campaign within a very short period, maybe about 18 days or so. So, as I said earlier to certain friends in the media, that I'm a Rajya Sabha MP, but I will continue to work as a Lok Sabha MP, as a Vidhan Sabha MLA for the people of Worli to get them justice. I think that they've been deprived of that for a long time, and I don't say that as a political point. There was a response from the people that they wanted a change. And if we didn't succeed in giving them a change electorally, we will try our best to do that developmentally.
Do you concede that at 133, the BJP has the legitimate right to seek to be chief minister, that your boss, your political boss, Eknath Shinde, fought well, fought hard, did spectacularly well, won more seats than the entire MVA, but will find it tough to be CM given the scale and scope of the BJP's victory, Milind?
Look, I don't want to get into these things and comment on a public forum like a news channel, but ultimately we fought the election under the Chief Minister's leadership, under both the Deputy Chief Minister's leadership. And I'm pretty sure that internally there will be a discussion and that everything will be well and shared with you very shortly.
Were you expecting this level of mandate, or would you concede that this is beyond your 234 now? MVA at 48, MVA, all of MVA out of 288 seats has more than what the India Alliance has in Jharkhand out of 81. I mean, that's just phenomenal in terms of election performance.
Let me be brutally honest. I was not expecting this scale of a mandate. I was certainly expecting a comfortable majority. When I say comfortable majority, Mahuayuti crossing 145 seats without having to depend on independent MLAs, but reaching 234, I didn't expect that. I thought maybe in the range of about 180 or so. That was my personal view. But my party was very confident, and I was sensing the response. You know, Rahul, in Worli alone, when I was campaigning, I kid you not, I met maybe 6 or 7 women. One of them I posted a video of as well, who just totally women I've never met before, not party workers, not affiliated with our party, with any of the Mahuayuti parties, and who just said that, you know, we received this money and we started a vada pav stall, we started a pani puri stall. I remember meeting a woman who was running a stall, and my convoy, when we were passing, we almost toppled her stall over, and I was very upset about that. And I caught the stall, helped her, and I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yes." And she said, "I just started this about a few weeks ago, and I'm a divorcee, a widow, sorry. My husband passed away. I have a handicapped child. I have to provide for my home. And I use the money from the Ladki Behan scheme to set up this business." And my camera team was with me, and I said, "You know, would you like to send a message to the Chief Minister?" And she started speaking and had tears in her eyes. She couldn't speak. So, you know, there was this overwhelming support, which was very visible during a campaign from women especially. That's one. I think the second thing which worked was, we ran a campaign which said that we want to take Maharashtra forward. We had an agenda. There was projects on the ground that had been executed. As usual, all I was hearing from the opposition was, "I'm going to stop this, I'm going to stop that, I'm going to stop this." Almost like it was a campaign slogan, like, "I'm going to stop this." So we coined the phrase speed breaker politics.
No, but Ramesh Chanitala, who ran the infamous Congress campaign in Maharashtra, has just said that today's verdict is unbelievable. I've contested many elections myself. We spoke to people on the ground. Even the exit poll said there is a fight. How can we believe this verdict? You know, from Manikam Tagore, you know, all these people you know well. Manikam Tagore says money won. You know, I just had Amitabh Dubey of the research cell. He says, you know, something seems terribly amiss. They're questioning EVMs and whether they are valid. How do you respond to the kind of reactions that we're seeing from the Congress party, Milind?
I find it ridiculous. And of course, some of the names you mentioned are people I hold in high regard. Some are complete clowns, unfortunately, and I don't like to say
Which one is the clown?
Whoever, that doesn't matter, but some of them have absolutely no idea on the ground.
Now you're not bound by the code of conduct of the Congress party. Which one of those did I name was the clown?
It's not a code of conduct. No, I don't mean the three people you mentioned. I mean that there are some people in the party who are complete jokers in terms of the kind of stuff that they believe. I mean, they think, you know, I've often said, I've said this in a tweet once, that if you get the story right, you can get data and facts wrong. And I think when you over depend on data and you think that data wins you elections as compared to a strong narrative, when you think that fear wins you an election as compared to hope, then you should expect these kinds of victories, so these kind of defeats. So, you know, ultimately we sold a campaign which was positive, which was development oriented. If I look at Mumbai, Rahul, and I'm a hardcore Mumbaikar, as you know, there has been massive development, and I can tell you this as a Mumbaikar beyond a politician. Things that I've been fighting for 20 years of my political life have finally come to fruition thanks to this government's efforts. And when I say this government, I mean starting from Devendra Fadnavis when he was chief minister in 2014 to now. And every time when we were in power, when Congress was in power in 1999 to 2004, they were just opposing those projects at the time, either the center or the state, for environmental reasons, other reasons. And that narrative was continued by the MVA partners in this election. And I really believe that ultimately people don't want speed breakers in their way. They want things to go forward. It's wrong for these data guys in Delhi in the Congress party to think that Indian voters, because they're not as literate or as well educated as them, that they're less informed. They know what's going on.
We've got one data guy, by the way, live. I don't want to put you in a debate with him, but one of the data guys of the Congress is in fact live.
No, all I'm saying is, Rahul, I'm not, I don't know who this, but all I'm trying to tell you is there are the voters of Maharashtra, Mumbai, India, they know what's happening globally. They know what's happening with America. They know what's happening with China. They know what's happening on our borders. They know what India needs to do to get ahead. And they don't want to hear someone repeatedly running down the India story. And I tried to warn the Congress for a long, long time. But I think that, unfortunately, I'm not a data scientist or one of those kind of people. So when you're someone on the ground, you have your ear to the ground, you know, you don't get rewarded, unfortunately, in certain systems. But beyond that, that's history now for me.
But Rahul Gandhi, who you know well, Milind, made a big deal of the whole Dharavi issue, the slum Just hear my question. Hear my question, then make the point. Rahul Gandhi made a big deal of the slum rehabilitation issue, attacked the Adani group non-stop through the campaign, trying to give it a Maharashtra versus Gujarat kind of angle, that industry is going to Gujarat. What do you make of the verdict in the context of the kind of campaign that Rahul Gandhi ran?
No, I would want to get into a specific person's campaign, but there was a campaign by the NBA to make it Maharashtra versus Gujarat, Marathi versus Gujarati, Maharashtrians versus Gujarati people. That failed. That was a divisive campaign. People saw through it. Maharashtrians saw through it. It failed. You know, my opponent Aditya, there's so much anti-incumbency in Worli. There are projects which are stuck for 25 years, 30 years. People were asking me that why is he talking about Dharavi when he's not talking about Worli, where he's an MLA from? And it was a valid question. And I said, you should ask him that question. Don't ask me that question. So I think sometimes people lose touch. But as I said, there's a huge challenge before the Mahuayuti. It's a challenge where it's a massive verdict. People obviously have voted us in with high expectations, regardless of what happens.
How does the nature of governance change? Given the scale of this victory, the stability that now comes to Maharashtra, what should voters expect to be different over the next 5 years?
It's a good question. And I think that one thing we can expect is that all three leaders of this alliance, Rahul, I've seen politics for a long time. I've seen Maharashtra's politics for a long time. They are three of the hardest working politicians I've met in my life. They work non-stop. Some of them work till late in the night. Some of them wake up early in the morning. They are at it 24/7. And so you will not get...
Are you having to work harder than you had to work in the Congress, Milind?
Don't make it about me, please.
No, I'm asking. It's a good question. No, I asked Yogendra Yadav the question, and he said he's had to work much harder because it's a party that just expects a faster pace.
Let me put it this way. Now, since you're making it about me, I entered politics to work hard, to do good things, to make change, to bring about positive change. Am I feeling more empowered that there's more people who want to listen to good suggestions about taking Mumbai forward, about attracting investments to Maharashtra? Yes, I am feeling more empowered, if that's what you're asking me. Does that make me want to work harder, leave no stone unturned? Yes, it does. So it's about being empowered. It's about if you empower someone. Everyone has a strength, Rahul, I believe, in any profession. And if you empower those strengths and don't see those strengths as weaknesses or as threats, then people do their best. But that aside, I think that because these three leaders are extremely hardworking, nobody will be able to complain that they are inaccessible. They're not going to be working hard. They're not going to be working 24/7 for them. That said,
it's also literally a 24/7 government because Ajit Pawar starts from 5 in the morning. Eknath Shinde sleeps only at 5 at night. So you've got the whole day covered. One guy is sleeping when the other one wakes up early. The other guy is up all night when the first one's sleeping. So it's 24/7 in a very literal sense of the word.
No, but even Mr. Shinde may sleep late, but he also wakes up early. So he's someone who, in fact, I think he doesn't sleep enough, and I try to tell him to sleep off. But anyway, that's a different issue. I think that the challenge before us will be to honor this mandate, to do our best, to continue with schemes that have worked and that are truly empowering people. Number one. Number two, to also, we've done well economically. We were number 2 in terms of attracting foreign direct investment about 3 years ago. We've come back to being the top state in terms of attracting FDI in India. Almost 52% of foreign direct investment which came to India last year came to Maharashtra, which is unprecedented and very encouraging. But we certainly need to do much more. I would say the biggest challenge before the government will be that we need to bring more and more investments in. We need to increase revenue for the Maharashtra government so that we're able to continue to support and further augment and strengthen these schemes. That to me is challenge number 1 before the government, which we need to put our heads down after everything settles down and focus on.
We'll leave it there. Milind Deora, for fighting a good fight and for joining us tonight. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Uddhav Thackeray and his Sena have been decimated in the Maharashtra election. If this battle was a fight to decide, if this war was a battle to decide who the real Shiv Sena was, that debate seems to have been settled. Eknath Shinde Sena has scored more seats than the entire Maha Vikas Aghadi combined. Would you believe that? Uddhav Thackeray has conceded defeat, but his son Aditya is questioning the EVMs.
The loyal deputy has now come of his own. It was in 2022 that Eknath Shinde dumped Uddhav, citing an insult to the legacy of Balasaheb Thackeray. And since then, there's been a bitter battle over who is the real Sena and who is the real claimant of the Thackeray legacy. The voters have taken their pick. Eknath Shinde has trumped Uddhav, and how? Uddhav, banking heavily on his surname, has lost the poll battle, and with it, the legacy battle. In the 38 seats that Shinde Sena and Uddhav Sena squared off in, the Shinde camp.
1 and 2, Sena versus UBT, right? 26 of those have gone in favor of Eknath Shinde. 12 of them have gone in favor of Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray.
Eknath Shinde has decisively won the Sena versus Sena battle, even expanding his footprint from beyond Thane and into Mumbai.
मैंने कहा था कि महायुति को थंपिंग मेजॉरिटी मिलेगी और इसीलिए मैं तमाम मतदाता जो है, मेरी लाडली बहनाओं को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ, लाडले किसानों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ और लाडले हमारे भाई हैं, लाडले सीनियर सिटीजन हैं, सभी वर्ग जो है, सभी वर्ग को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ.
The Mahuayuti, celebrating their sweep, has reiterated that the real Sena battle has been settled.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक प्रकार से लोगों ने अपना मैंडेट दे दिया. लोगों ने एकनाथ शिंदे जी को रियल शिवसेना के रूप में स्वीकार कर लिया है. बाला साहेब ठाकरे की हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहेब ठाकरे की जो शिवसेना है, उसकी लेजिटिमेसी ये एकनाथ शिंदे जी को मिली है और जो मूल एनसीपी है उसकी लेजिटिमेसी अजित पवार जी को मिला.
Uddhav Thackeray, whose party has managed to win just about 20 seats, faces the biggest crisis now of his political career. The Uddhav Sena right now is sulking, even calling the results illegal.
ऐसा है कि हर चुनाव क्षेत्र में नोटों की मशीन लगाई थी. अरे शिंदे का एक भी उम्मीदवार सिटिंग एमएलए गिरता नहीं और शिंदे ये बोल रहे थे हमारा एक भी सिटिंग विधायक गिरेगा नहीं. आपको मालूम होगा तो मैं इस्तीफा दूंगा. ऐसा होता है क्या चुनाव में कभी? हमारा एक भी नहीं गिरेगा. ये कौन सा भरोसा है? ये कौन सी है? ये कौन सा लोकतंत्र है? 200 के ऊपर किसी को चुनाव में नतीजे मिलते हैं क्या? जिस देश में, जिस राज्य में सबसे बड़ी बेईमानी हो गई है, इस राज्य की जनता बेईमान नहीं है.
Shinde Sena by itself at the same number of seats as the entire India alliance put together. What do you think went so dramatically wrong in this election, ma'am?
To be very honest, I don't really know. And I won't be able to give you answers because I wasn't mentally prepared to come on television channels accepting this kind of a defeat. And again, I'm just hoping something would turn around simply because we saw that it was a very close fight. What we saw on ground was a lot of anger against the government. What we saw was tremendous amount of support coming from the people. All the surveys across the state showed that Uddhav ji was amongst the most popular, and the votes don't seem to be matching up to the sentiment that we were seeing on ground. So right now, I don't have an answer to this particular question as to what really did not work for us. But again, it does raise questions on, when we are gauging the mood of the people, when we are seeing different surveys and outcomes coming out to be totally different. What really went wrong is something for everyone to speculate.
The Thackeray legacy battle has been settled for now, as has the battle over who is the real Shiv Sena. Bureau Report, India Today.
The Congress that had the momentum after the performance in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, the Maharashtra election was really theirs to win, but once again the Congress has proven to be one of the weakest links for the MVA. Rahul Gandhi's poll pitch that focused on Adani, constitution and caste seems to have completely failed to impress the voters.
For a party that ruled Maharashtra just a decade ago, the Congress party has just scripted its worst ever performance in the state, proving once again to be a disastrous deadweight, sinking the Maha-Vikas Aghadi alliance and facilitating a thunderous BJP-powered landslide in the state. Just 6 months after humbling the BJP in the Lok Sabha elections in Maharashtra and helping the Aghadi capture 30 out of 48 seats, the Congress has proven to be just the opposite in the assembly fight, proving to be a devastating weak link. After the humiliation in Haryana, an election widely seen as the Congress's for the taking, the Maharashtra humiliation will sting the party worse. Considering the grand old party was still seen as enjoying momentum from the Lok Sabha surprise and the multitude of local issues on which to fight. from farmer distress over soybean crops to unemployment.
It is not a believable result which came so far. But anyway, we are examining deeper way with the Mahavikas Aghadi coalition parties.
But a brutal truth has reared its ugly head once again. The Congress party's strategy has not only failed to resonate, but has also exposed its chronic inability to adapt to the political realities of a rapidly evolving state. Rahul Gandhi, who spent his few days in Maharashtra, expended his energies with attacks on the Adani Group, a cornerstone of his national strategy, but failed to strike a chord in Maharashtra. The state's electorate, heavily influenced by industrial and business interests, likely saw this as disconnected from local concerns.
हमारे लिए अप्रत्याशित हैं, हमारे लिए अति आश्चर्यपूर्ण, और मैं समझता हूं ये भी कहा जा सकता है ये अकथनीय है.
While corruption allegations against corporate giants make for strong headlines, the average voter in Maharashtra likely prioritized economic development and tangible benefits over rhetorical crusades against billionaires. The Congress's attempt to weaponize the Dharavi redevelopment project, criticizing the BJP for awarding contracts to the Adani Group, was likely seen as obstructionist rather than constructive. The Aghadi's embarrassing showing in the Mumbai area reflects this.
हिंदुस्तान का संविधान.
While the BJP fought a hyper-localized election with seat management, Rahul Gandhi brandished the constitution and repeatedly warned that the BJP was endangering the constitution. An approach that clearly failed to connect with a wider electorate more concerned with immediate issues like jobs, inflation, and infrastructure. With nearly all its leading faces, including Bala Saheb Thorat, former CM Prithviraj Chauhan, and Yashomati Thakur, defeated, the writing on the wall could not be angrier. Fear-mongering about abstract threats to democracy without a clear connection to voters' daily lives seemed out of touch with ground realities. Maharashtra's deeply entrenched caste dynamics presented an opportunity for Congress to galvanize support. Yet, the Congress approach lacked nuance and cohesion, allowing the BJP to outmaneuver it. Latching onto Maharashtrian pride, the Congress tries to exploit the narrative of Maharashtra losing industrial projects to Gujarat under BJP rule. But that argument backfired too. BJP successfully showcased Maharashtra's continued growth as an economic powerhouse. But at the heart of Congress's failure lies a minimum vision, maximum complacency problem. Something that not only alienated voters but also strained the Aghadi alliance, with partners quietly resenting Congress's inability to pull its weight. All the gains from the Lok Sabha surprise now lie in tatters for the Congress. With elections in Delhi around the corner, it has very little time to pick itself up. Bureau Report, India Today.
The big question at this moment, I want to spend some time on that. What happens next in Indian politics? How does Maharashtra and Jharkhand impact the future course of Indian politics with Parliament starting Monday? We're waiting for Prime Minister Modi to arrive any moment from now. So I'll start with Rajat Sethi. How does this change the political calculus from the BJP's prism?
I think 2024 Lok Sabha results are now finally behind. BJP is a renewed body right now, waiting to have its new president and then march from there onwards with a renewed vigor it has its task cut out. There is, large, potentially important events around. There will be some kind of discussion, deliberation around women reservation. Those issues like one nation, one election, all of those issues BJP would want to again bring to the foray. And I believe we are back in business with regards to Prime Minister's clear thought around politics and the vision he has for India.
It gives him some confidence. He had to kind of make some
100%.
compromises, Sheila, but which he didn't quite like. People said, "Bare boss, corona varna har jayenge. Satta is most important." A lot of people around him said it. Now he can come back to his core convictions, possibly.
Yeah, some economists will lose heartbeat, but I have a feeling that now this money, Lakshmi, Ladki Behan Yojana, and which Jharkhand also he won because of that, Mamta won because of that, and Maharashtra won. So I think it will be a national...
At some point in time, the men are going to say, why do the women get the money alone? The men should, if it's DBT, there should be DBT for all.
I think something like that, DBT type of a new kind of an
Rahul Gandhi बोलेगा, ये तो मेरा idea था. You know?
नहीं, क्या कहने से क्या होता है?
Universal basic income.
No, so Amitabh Tiwari, how does the future of Indian politics change as a result of this?
It gives a boost to Modi's image because there has been a big turnaround. He has also strategically placed himself at the back, letting the local leaders...
And still winning.
And still winning. And now he will continue with his agenda. One is the ideological core agenda, which is the Waqf bill, the UCC. They will hammer probably in this session itself. And even contentious bills like One Nation, One Poll.
Okay, Amitabh Dubey is still with us. You heard some of the pot shots by your former colleague Milind Deora, calling some leaders jokers, too much reliance on tech and data, not enough on boots on the ground. But what do you make of the future of politics? I mean, we discussed what this means for the BJP and PM Modi. What does this mean for Rahul Gandhi and the Congress? You were hoping to get on the aggressive on Monday. This kind of walloping in Maharashtra really puts the Congress on the defensive, in fact. Okay, Anish, where does this leave opposition politics in your view?
I think you're going to see a very different mood in the Lok Sabha than you're seeing today in newsrooms and on the ground in Maharashtra. Let's not forget that the mandate in June was also a very significant one, and you're going to see political parties
I don't agree because see, at some level, when a Neta feels he's got voters behind him, you have extra energy, the spring in your step. The moment you know that maybe there's nobody behind you, it takes some of that energy and that, the level of being charged up away.
No, but I think you're going to have to ensure that you keep that momentum up in Parliament, and that's going to be the responsibility of opposition parties. When the
How does Parliament dynamic change, Rajat?
Well, I believe that there is, the Congress party would have certainly thought that Adani issue they would be able to stall the Parliament, in their demand for GPC and all of that. I believe they'll be taken less seriously, not just by their colleagues in the Parliament, but also by the people in general.
No, and also one of the reasons the BJP was rattled post-June, Sheila, but was that they actually thought maybe we've actually lost the connect, right? Maybe things are happening on the ground which we don't know. After this kind of a verdict in Maharashtra, they said, boss, these people voted for us. I know that what I'm saying is the right thing.
Yes, and a lot of things are coming together. Trump is coming to America. 100 years of RSS will be next year. Again, Delhi election, always it's more vocal and disproportionate propaganda. Kejriwal gets it and also Delhi election gets it.
Don't you think that BJP has some good diplomatic wins also? And I think they would want to chest thump around the Chinese resolution on the borders.
No, and the fact that the G20 in Brazil wasn't very successful. I mean, everybody who went there compared with India, and these are two countries that think they're in the same weight class on the geopolitical stage, but they didn't have a cogent agenda, they couldn't bring it together, the scale, the ambition was vastly different.
See, Britain, France, Germany, Japan, all countries have seen many prime minister or president, but in our country, continuity is there.
And spare a thought for that. 10 years plus of continuity, compare that with the uncertainty in France or in the United Kingdom, and you realize the kind of advantages the India story has had by having a stable government. This was a big opportunity for the Mahavikas Aghadi to build on the momentum from the 4th of June, and I said this earlier, that the 23rd of November, Maharashtra and Jharkhand will show which of those was the outlier event. Was the 240 the outlier event, or was Haryana the outlier event? I think that question is settled. There'll be a lot for everyone to mull over. I want to thank all our guests for joining us. We're slipping into a break. Prime Minister Modi will be at the BJP headquarters on the other side. We'll go across live and listen to what the Prime Minister has to say. And then more guests will join us. We'll have more analysis, more interpretation of this verdict. So our coverage continues through the evening. Stay with us. Be back tomorrow.
So sorry.
Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj, Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj.
मेरे आगे जोर किसी और का न चले.
Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj.
जहाँ चुनौती दे कोई फ्लावर वहीं खिले.
Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj.
जनता से कई गुना फिर प्यार हमें मिला.
Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj.
चालबाजों का दाव एक भी न चला.
Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj. Kamal, 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 Kamal Raj.
सिर्फ फ्लावर नहीं, फायर है हम.
नहीं सर, वाइल्ड फायर.
मैं रुकेगा नहीं.
Rangila Re, with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Rangila Re, with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sena, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Mahuayuti secures landslide victory in Maharashtra, set to form government again. Change of trend in Jharkhand, Hemant Soren returns to power, shattering 24-year-old record. NDA captures all 4 seats in Bihar by-elections, BJP alliance wins 7 seats in UP.
Rangila Re, with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
rangila re with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Presented by Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat. Co-presented by आपका जॉय भारत का जॉय जॉय ई-बाइक महिंद्रा इलेक्ट्रिक ओरिजिन SUVs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Preeti Chaudhary, and what a spectacular day it's been in Indian politics. It happens once in a way. Like they say, all elections are important, but some elections are more important than others, and Maharashtra fits exactly that bill. While the India Alliance has done exceedingly well, thumping win where the state of Jharkhand is concerned, but look at the numbers in Maharashtra. This is not just a tsunami, it's a spectacular win on your television screens, viewers. 48 is what the MVA is standing on, and if you actually look at the count and where they were in Lok Sabha, just a little more. But having said that, 48 versus 288, that's the difference in terms of the Assembly and Lok Sabha seats, and look at that figure there. The Prime Minister is going to be at the BJP headquarters very soon. We're going to cut across celebrations at the BJP headquarters. A sense of disbelief where the Mahavikas Aghadi is concerned. We're going to get you all the reactions coming in thick and fast. First up, allow me to take you through the headlines. It's a Mahuayuti tsunami in Maharashtra. BJP secures its third consecutive victory in the state. Sena gets more seats than Mahavikas Aghadi combined. Ajit Pawar redeems himself with NCP's performance. Prime Minister Modi hails the Mahuayuti victory, says development and good governance has won. Prime Minister declares united we will soar even higher. Also congratulating Hemant Soren on his spectacular Jharkhand win. Maharashtra Chief Minister race intensifies. Who will it be, Eknath Shinde or Devendra Fadnavis? All right, what we're going to do is, viewers, we're going to go to where all the action is and all the cameras are fixed. This is an empty road right now leading up to the BJP headquarters in the national capital. The cavalcade of the Prime Minister already making its way. You can see that. And what a spectacular, unbelievable, many would say, win that has been etched where Maharashtra is concerned. What a comeback from Lok Sabha 2024. And it's all there. You can actually hear the drums beating at the BJP headquarters. Amit Shah already there. He's been meeting all the senior leaders. The party cadre, the spokesperson, senior dignitaries of the Bharatiya Janata Party, all at the BJP headquarters in the national capital. You can see the Prime Minister's cavalcade pulling in. We can expect a speech today. What will the Prime Minister say, especially when it comes down to the numbers that you see on your television screen? The Bharatiya Janata Party has bested its performance from 2019. It's ever since Lok Sabha 2024. If you take a look at Haryana, now if you take a look at Maharashtra, the BJP is in a massive, massive comeback mode. And one thing I think this election will prove, viewers, is that 2024 Lok Sabha was indeed, at least till now, an aberration. In Haryana, the Bharatiya Janata Party bettered its performance even at the peak wave of Prime Minister Modi in 2014. And now doing way better than what the BJP did at 122, where it stood in 2019. What a spectacular win. The Bharatiya Janata Party right now at 133 and could practically do it alone with the others, doesn't even need two of its allies. But now the big question is who is going to be the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. JP Nadda also they're basking in the glory of what has been history in the making. You know, the annals of Indian political history, this election will be remembered, viewers, because by nothing else but the sheer numbers that you see on your television screen. The Mahuayuti standing at 234 vis-a-vis the Mahavikas Aghadi at 48. What a stunning defeat and what a spectacular win, etched in history. Let's dip in to the surround sound at the BJP headquarters.
अभी राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी उनको लेकर आपके मध्य में आने वाले हैं। मैं आपकी तरफ से तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट से मोदी जी का अभिनंदन कीजिएगा। हमारे वरिष्ठ नेता का आदरणीय राजनाथ सिंह जी, आदरणीय अमित शाह जी हमारे मध्य में आगे ताली बजा के अभिनंदन कीजिएगा। क्या आपका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन है, स्वागत है। आदरणीय देश के प्रधानमंत्री
the Prime Minister very happy, waving to the cadre that's gathered at the BJP headquarters there. He was away on an official visit, especially in the last few days, the dying days of the campaign in Maharashtra, but he really had nothing to worry about, because look at the lot of the Bharatiya Janata Party today where Maharashtra is concerned. He's already on social media, on the platform X, congratulated the Bharatiya Janata Party on scripting what is going to be a historic win, which will go down into the annals of Indian political history of just something which is unbelievable, viewers. What a win. Today, the Prime Minister also stressed on the fact that if you are united, you can do anything. Ek hai to safe hai. One of the poll narratives that defined the victory of the Mahavikas Aghadi. Be it the Ladki Bahan Yojana, be it the consolidation of the Hindu vote, be it the RSS's silent door-to-door campaign, which wasn't there during Lok Sabha 2024. Be it the seamless vote transfer, where the allies were concerned of the Mahuayuti, which wasn't there in Lok Sabha 2024. This is the perfect storm that was brewed in the state of Maharashtra. While there will be a tad disappointment with the Bharatiya Janata Party, they would have been hoping that it would have been a double whammy of sorts with Jharkhand in, because the India Alliance has also registered quite an emphatic win in Jharkhand. But like we pointed out, unfortunate to say, but yes, it is true. There are some elections that have more weight than the others, and Maharashtra is just one of those.
स्वीकार भी करेंगे और हमारा मार्गदर्शन भी करने वाले हैं। बोले नरेंद्र मोदी, नरेंद्र मोदी, हमारा नेता कैसा हो, हमारे नेता कैसा हो।
Cut into the live visuals. We're going to continue actually to stream the live visuals for you, but joining me is going to be Sanju Verma, spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. Sanju Verma, you have been saying repeatedly, and I will quote you, that you're going to script a spectacular win in Maharashtra. I'm sure the numbers surprise you as well.
Yes, Preeti. I'm absolutely thrilled and ecstatic. And, people have been saying that Trump's victory in the United States in 2024 is the greatest political comeback ever. I beg to differ. I think the BJP-led Mahuayuti's phenomenal victory in the assembly elections in 2024 in Maharashtra has to be the biggest, greatest, most spectacular political comeback ever. Not only have we won hands down, and we've completely demolished, decimated, and destroyed the opposition. I mean, look at it, Preeti. Eknath Shinde individually is more powerful in terms of number of seats than the entire Mahavinash Aghadi. Ajit Pawar standalone has, more political heft than Uddhav Thackeray, Rahul Gandhi and Sharad Pawar put together. I mean, Congress needs to learn its lessons, which it refuses to do. काठ की हांडी बार बार नहीं चढ़ती, वही कास्ट सेंसस, अडानी वो नहीं चलेगा। राहुल गांधी जी, आपसे ना हो पाएगा। आपको हरियाणा में करारी हार मिली, you did not learn lessons. You lost 3 Lok Sabha elections in a row, you did not learn your lessons. Now you've lost Maharashtra and you have still not learned your lessons. Your spokespersons, your media communications heads are putting out posts on Twitter/X saying, oh, EVMs are faulty. Oh, the BJP has managed to play devious, polarizing politics. So like I say, वो जो एक saying है ना, I don't watch too many movies, but I know that there's this famous line, मैं एक बार commitment दे देता हूं तो फिर मैं अपनी भी नहीं सुनता. तो नरेंद्र मोदी जी जब एक बार commitment दे देते हैं तो खुद की भी नहीं सुनते. The Modi tsunami is alive and kicking, and how?
Well, you are right, and not just devastated where Maharashtra is concerned, where the Mahavikas Aghadi is, it's annihilation. Look at the numbers there. Mahavikas Aghadi today is stunned into silence, 48, because this is not just embarrassing, this is unbelievable for them. And that's, but it's right there, the numbers are up on the board. But Sanju Verma, the Congress has done quite well, saving grace, silver lining if one might call it in Jharkhand. But yes, there is no doubt that the big prize was the state of Maharashtra, and the Mahuayuti has delivered the state of Maharashtra with a thumping victory. Arvind Tiwari, spokesperson, NCP, Sharad Pawar is also with us. Arvind Tiwari, when you look at it today, the Mahavikas Aghadi, on where it stands, out of even the 3 of them, right before the results came in, there was a constant commentary on the fact that, it's Sharad Pawar who's doing so well. It's he who has his house in order. Everything is working seamlessly for Sharad Pawar, but the other allies are not doing well. But look at the numbers. It's the showing where Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP is concerned. What does this mean?
See, in an election, when we are going into an election, we have to prepare for the best and for the worst. And I believe it is like the saying in Hindi, "Kabhi takht, kabhi takhta."
Back to you, sir. I'm going to come right back to you, sir. What, prepared for the worst, would it mean joining in with the Congress where the Pawar faction is concerned, or going to Ajit Pawar's faction? Listen in to JP Nadda.
मंच पर उपस्थित हम सबके यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, हमारे रक्षा मंत्री श्री राजनाथ सिंह जी, गृह मंत्री अमित भाई शाह जी, और यहां इतनी बड़ी संख्या में एकत्र आए देवी और सज्जनों, मीडिया के मेरे साथी और करोड़ों लोग जो इस समय डिजिटल दुनिया के माध्यम से जुड़े हैं, आप सब की ओर से आज के इस आभार कार्यक्रम में और विजयश्री के कार्यक्रम में मैं अपनी ओर से और आप सब की ओर से आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं, स्वागत करता हूं। मित्रों, ये ऐतिहासिक दिन, ये विशेष दिन जो आज भारत की जनता ने, महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने और विभिन्न राज्यों के उपचुनाव ने जो संदेश दिया है, वह निश्चित रूप में जिस कार्य को, जिस साधना को आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने देशवासियों की सेवा करने का संकल्प उठाया, उस पर फिर से एक बार जनता ने मुहर लगा दी है। इसके लिए विशेष करके महाराष्ट्र की जनता, विभिन्न राज्यों में उपचुनाव की जनता और झारखंड की जनता को मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं, आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। मित्रों, जब मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी का अभिनंदन कर रहा हूं और आज सवेरे जब नतीजे आने शुरू हुए, तो हमें यह भी ध्यान में रखना चाहिए कि कल ही प्रधानमंत्री जी अपने 5 दिन की यात्रा में नाइजीरिया, ब्राजील और गयाना से होकर के आए हैं और दुनिया में आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने अपनी छाप छोड़ी। और आप सबको और आप सबको जानकर ये खुशी होगी कि नाइजीरिया ने और गयाना ने आदरणीय मोदी जी को अपने सर्वोच्च सम्मान के साथ उनको सम्मानित किया है। ये हम सब के लिए गर्व की घड़ी है, गर्व का पल है, जब अंतर्राष्ट्रीय जगत में आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी की छवि और भारत की छवि को जो मोदी जी ने दुनिया में पहुंचाया है, उसको दुनिया ने भी माना है और उसको सराहा है। मित्रों, ये जो जीत पिछले आज के दिन महाराष्ट्र में मिली, उपचुनाव में मिली और पिछले दिनों जो हरियाणा में मिली, उसने ये तय कर दिया कि जिस बात को प्रधानमंत्री जी ने रखा, विकासवाद, गांव, गरीब, वंचित, पीड़ित, शोषित, दलित, महिला, युवा, किसान, इनको मुख्य धारा में शामिल करके आगे देश को ले जाना है, इस पर फिर से जनता ने मुहर लगा दी है। ये भी हमको ध्यान में रखना है। मित्रों, यह चुनाव इस बात का भी संदेश देता है कि जो लोग समाज को बांटने में लगे थे, बंटने और बटाने में लगे हुए थे, जो लोग गुमराह करने में लगे हुए थे, उनको मुंह की खानी पड़ी है और प्रधानमंत्री जी का विकासवाद, इसको फिर से देश ने सराहा है। कुछ दिनों से ये इंडिया अलायंस को भ्रम पैदा हो गया था कि वह जनता को संविधान के नाम पर, जाति के नाम पर, धर्म के नाम पर, तुष्टीकरण के नाम पर बात करके वो अपना उल्लू सीधा करेंगे, वो सत्ता पर काबिज होंगे, वो सत्ता के नजदीक पहुंचेंगे। ये भ्रम पैदा हो गया था। इस चुनाव ने और हरियाणा के चुनाव ने उनको जवाब दे दिया है और फिर से मैं कहूंगा कि प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी की नीतियों को मुहर लगाई है। ये भी हमको ध्यान रखना है।